We got our own thing. Fair in perspective. Expect it, so accept it. Yeah, it's two of us out of the four of us. They're here in spirit, but he'll be here in the physical soon. They're gonna be here in the physical soon. Fair in perspective, expect it, so accept it. KG told me that was a tongue twister, but it's the only slogan I have, and you guys are gonna say it with me. When the whole crowd like that, fair in perspective. To my left, and really my right on your screen, is Dime Dime Dropper.
Talking every single East team and the latest in the NBA in this one. We did the last Western Conference episode. I hope you guys enjoyed that. It's timestamps so you saw where we were talking about every single team in the West. So this one, we're going to be doing the East, and there's no better place to start than the top. The Boston Celtics. I think we all had them first. I'd have to go back and check our predictions, but we all had them first, I believe. And what are your initial thoughts on them? They basically have like a big five: Derek White, Porzingis, Drew Holiday, and the Jays. They're looking like they're going to run away with the first seed, and they're the favorite to come out of the East. Thoughts on the C's?
I think everything you're saying is right, but there's a lot of with the Utah Jazz when the Goldberg, Donovan Mitchell, Utah Jazz, right? We used to say, yeah, that record is nice and all, but you guys ain't doing anything in the playoffs. With the Celtics, we expect them to do damage in the playoffs. Don't get me wrong, even make the finals. But there's that hurdle that we don't expect them to get over for whatever reason. Um, I have to stop saying But the Celtics, for some reason, that's just what it is with us. We know who you have. Jason Tatum is the lead dog. I've seen people go back and forth whether he's the MVP or not. You know, clearly, Jason Tatum is an MVP candidate the last 5 years, top five minimum. As much criticism as I do have for him, the Paul George type, T Mac type of passive aggressive attitude, he still is a top five guy, minimum MVP candidate season in, season out. He's the difference maker. Jaylen Brown, has he really played that much better or worse? Do you see a difference with him?
I think he's about the same as last year. His points per game are down, but I saw that his shot attempts are down. I think that's just a result of having some new, star caliber players on your team. So I think he's been the same. The efficiency's around the same.
Derek White looks like anything we've ever said about him is I think played better, unless the last month he's fallen off, but I don't think so. The last I checked, he was. But here's some stuff. I go to NBA.com. Shout out to John Schumann. I have to start just quoting you or citing you because I'm just taking your stuff here off of websites, and I don't care because we're on live, and I like to pass the information along in case you guys don't know. He is an analytics guy from NBA.com. But so the Celtics, they rank fifth in field goal percentage in the paint, 60%. Fifth in field goal percentage, but dead last in the shots attempted from the paint, 42%. And of course, they've shot the league average or better from 3-point range. And I think and they lead the league in 3-point rate by a wide margin, 47.3%.
And 3-point attempts as well.
3-point attempt. So that is not a shocker. That's not a surprise. That's exactly what we fear about them in terms of winning. You're not going to win until you get the mid-range game way better, and most especially improving your shots in the post. And really, the one guy that can do all of that, it feels like he can get to any way he wants to on the floor, get any shot that he wants, defend damn near everybody in the NBA. He has the potential and capability to do so. He has the potential to be the best two-way player in the game, right? The only ones that can even compete with this guy, Giannis and Embiid, that's just sheer physicality. But Jason Tatum should be the best two-way player in the game by far, and he's not.
You think he should be by far the best two-way player in the game?
Yes, because
Why?
offensively, how far off is he from anybody like Luka Doncic, SGA?
I mean, Luka Doncic is a much better pick and roll. I mean, I think Tatum has improved each year passing and in the pick and roll, but I would call him a good passer at best. Luka is a great passer. Luka is a pick and roll maestro. He can get a good shot for you every single time down the floor for your team.
Right.
Jason Tatum,
So
though, he has the same issue with me that I have with Luka in the sense that sometimes he over dribbles, takes too many contested threes. Tatum majorly. My issue with the Celtics is this. I think they have the amazing personnel. They have the best starting five in the league. They're a little bit thinner depth-wise, outside of Horford. I think Hauser and Pritchard, they're solid players, can shoot the ball well from three, but they are a little thin. You know what I'm saying? They picked up Jaden Springer. Who else did they pick up? I know Cornette's having his best year as a Celtic.
Xavier Tillman.
Xavier Tillman, who I like. So maybe that'll help. But as far as those five guys, I mean, I'm pretty impressed with all of them. To me, the key is in the playoffs with Boston. Are they going to make the game hard for themselves by just constantly starting everything behind the three-point line, settling for jumpers, and falling in love with the three? When their three ball's not falling and you can't get layups, you can't have just no counter. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem with them, and it's hurt them in the playoffs so many times. Now, this year, their fans, a subsection of them are saying, they have the highest post-up rate in the league. This year, it's different. I mean, okay, maybe relative to the rest of the league or relative to the Celtics team of last year, but is it enough to win a championship? Am I going to see it when it counts? Because when I've watched them this year, it's the same old shit with better players. And Porzingis, I will say this, giving them a pick and pop threat, a second one, and a really good one, that really makes their offense more lethal. But when teams switch everything, is Porzingis going to be aggressive and dominate in the post? Because this year I've heard he's been better. In the last 2 years, he has been better in that mid post. And he doesn't necessarily even need to get the ball all the way down low on the block. He's not that strong lower body wise and will get the ball down there. But even at the elbow, if he can catch the ball 10 feet away against a smaller guy and just turn over him like he's a chair, that can exploit mismatches that they didn't necessarily have in the last couple of years. So with the Celtics, it's really all about showing it in the playoffs. But for me, the Porzingis and this and that, I don't think that's going to be the difference maker. I think the difference maker is going to be Tatum and Brown making better decisions in crunch time. Mainly Jason Tatum, who I've been very high on since his rookie year, because his rookie year was my first year transferring to UMass. And I got to see it from the beginning. And I said he was going to average 30 one day, and he has last year. And he was going to lead the Celtics to banner 18. Is that going to be this year? I mean, the team is good enough. There is no excuse. Porzingis doesn't even have to be relied on that much. He's a third scoring option. And he's having a great year. I mean, they got three guys averaging 20 plus. But I'm going to end it with this. Derek White's been amazing. People were campaigning for him to be an all-star. He's having the best year of his career. Drew Holiday is quietly averaging 44% from three. Pretty wild. So go ahead, Fabian. But that's my thoughts on Boston.
Nah,
They
I
should
don't.
win the championship.
It's well, to be honest, them in Minnesota, they have the recipe to get stops on defense, and they have the guys with Ant-Man and Jason Tatum. You guys don't see it for some reason. Now you finally saw it this year, and a lot of you guys finally woke up to Jason Tatum settling for his 3-point shots. But the same thing is going on with Ant-Man, and I've seen it. And I've been a big Ant-Man guy. The Timberwolves, they go to the championship and they win they're gonna go neck and neck in the championship with the Celtics if Tatum and Ant-Man become these guys, the Michael Jordan, storybook type of guys in crunch time. You don't have to be Michael Jordan. You have Reggie Miller. Even someone like Derek Fisher should be, talked about way more often for a crunch time player, right? Even Kyrie Irving being a guy in crunch time. Jason Tatum hasn't performed that way in the playoffs. I don't care what anybody says. In crunch time, he's not that guy. Even in the regular season, he's not that guy. And the same thing with Ant-Man. Ant-Man did have a great drive and kick to Mike Conley in the corner when they played the Celtics, if I'm not mistaken. But again, he didn't shoot the ball. It was very LeBron-esque. Get to his spot and give up the responsibility for it for the last jumper. But again, even LeBron had to go through these. He had to go and talk to himself in the mirror. He had to have a coming of age moment and go, I need to improve. I need to be more poised during not just crunch time moments, crunch time games. Jason Tatum, he's had some big games. Do not get me wrong. Come on, he's super talented. But to me, Ant-Man and Jason Tatum, once they take that leap in crunch time, I think if they do it at the same time this season, they're fighting for the championship.
You just ignore every time that Tatum has done well, though, in the clutch in the playoffs and has come up big for his team.
No, it's not. It doesn't. I don't remember any Jason Tatum crunch time game winners game
What?
clinchers.
He made it with against Brooklyn. He had that game-winning layup to win the game, the first game.
Well, yeah, against Kyrie and they were smacking up KD. That was a good one. Don't get me wrong. That was definitely great.
What about game 6 against the Milwaukee Bucks when this team was down 3-2? It just lost a heartbreaker in game 5, and the dude dropped like 45 in the defending champion's house to keep them alive.
Okay, and what about at the end of the game? Was there a crunch time moment? No. The only one we could point to is the one is you're right. The one with
What about game 6 last year against the Philadelphia 76ers where he was about to lose and then he completely took over the game after a terrible performance?
Took over the game again. He'll take over the game. He has the games.
Time.
Yes, he has crunch games, the big time games. He has those, but there's a lot of settling. We cannot ignore this. We're
There's a lot of settling, but it's not. You're right.
You're going back on your word. You're going back on your word.
No, there's a lot of settling, but
Jason Tatum,
you exaggerate.
I'm not. If call it whatever you want. Call it whatever you want. In crunch time, I don't fully trust Jason Tatum for whatever reason.
That's fair, but that's not the same as he's never come up big in the playoffs. Or he always blows.
All right. He never came up. Okay, cool. But that's not the guy you trust. And then on top of that, who else on the Celtics can you trust?
No, nobody. Everybody's a question mark. And but I think we are also a little harsh on Tatum. He's my age, basically. He's about to be 26 in March.
I don't want to hear that.
The guys that young usually aren't expected to lead a team to a title. Magic, you're comparing him to these guys? Magic and Larry Bird?
That's when you're a top 5 guy and you have that much talent as a perimeter dude. Jason Tatum is not. He is in that category right now.
No, he's not. He's closer to Kevin Durant than he is Magic and Larry Bird.
Yo, are you guys crazy? Durant, Jason Tatum, all these superstar legendary dudes, they're in the same position as Magic, Jordan, Bird, Matt. Who do you think they were in their time?
They're not as good as them. Period.
You got to stop. They're not as good as them because of these crunch time moments. You're making my point.
Yeah, but that matters.
If Jason Tatum came up way more, and of course we had Tragic Johnson, right? We had Tragic Johnson.
After two rings, though.
Fine, but we still had a Tragic Johnson. We still had that. Jason Tatum has had his. Jaylen Brown was just sitting down with Draymond Green and said exactly what we've been saying the last 2 seasons, that they got punked by Draymond. They were shook. What the hell are you doing being scared of anybody, especially when you're a grown man? Forget your age. You got somebody punk you for the championship? Somebody should have clotheslined Draymond if that was the case. Nobody came up with that. Marcus Smart, none of them dudes, all these super talents. I just can't see Michael Jordan being punked, Magic Johnson being punked, Isaiah Thomas being punked, maybe out physical. Magic might have came up short, and he didn't develop the skill either. He became a 90% free throw shooter, became a better shooter throughout his career. And it's just, for me, once that happens, though, Dime, trust you me, I'll be the first one to recognize it, and I'll be the first one to tell you that I'm scared to death of Jason Tatum. Because if that happens, forget about it. We're not talking about Joker and these guys being an MVP anymore. If he's clutch like that, it's over. That's really the missing link to his game.
I always say this with Tatum. He likes Kobe so much, but he consistently wants to dance at the three-point line instead of catch the ball in the mid-post, catch the ball at the elbow, back to basket. He's even taller than him. So watch your favorite players' games, man. I don't know what to say. Not just the highlights, but anyway. Is that all we got on Boston?
Yeah, man.
They're still the favorites. I mean, we're going to talk about them more before the playoffs start, of course. But
yeah, we hopped on them way too. We hopped on them way too much about their flaws. I mean, going back to their strengths, I'm sorry. The only top 5 in both offensive and defensive rating. The only team, only that's one of like 4 teams in history to do so. If they finish that way, the only other team that didn't make win the finals after being in both categories was the Boston Celtics last year, finishing in top 4 in offensive and defensive rating, and it's primarily because they wet the bed against the Miami Heat.
Yeah, and I've been impressed with Porzingis defensively. I want to say that too.
All
right, now the bottom of the barrel. The Detroit Pistons. They've had a historically bad season, broke the record for most consecutive losses. What do you got to say about them? Asar Thompson's been a bright spot. Jalen Duren has been a bright spot, but it's been a real disaster over there. We've had arguments about Monty Williams and how much blame he should hold for the 8-46 record that they have. Talk to me about Detroit and what you've noticed about them this season.
Well, I mean, we could bunch them all together, right? Detroit and Washington and the Hornets, if you want. What is there really to talk about?
Just give me Detroit real quick for now.
It's 10 seconds. Monty Williams, go fire yourself. Or, like, I don't even know. You go get $80 million is amazing. You did a great job of straight robbing the place. A short Thompson, like you said, to me, he was in the fold for rookie of the year or top 3 or 4 rookie early on in the season. He looks amazing. Jalen Duren looks like a grown man. We've always talked about that. They have been playing better, though. A lot of those trades, they unlocked spacing, like you put it, because you're the first person to say that this season they have no spacing whatsoever. All them people that could shoot was Bogdanovich, and I forgot the other guy that had a jump shot for Detroit. But if you only got one shooter on the court at a time, what's gonna happen? Like, I don't care what you have going on. So, you know, they have the talent. That's the messed up. When you talk about the Pistons and the Hornets being at the bottom of the barrel, that's injuries and not being able to really put things that puzzle together to get on the court and compete. That's really what's stopping the Hornets, because the Pistons have the bright spot with Asor Thompson, but him and his brother, they both stink from shooting from 3-point range. They're just really good defenders at this point.
Yeah, I think Asar Thompson's a great athlete, but his jump shot still needs some work. He has been a bright spot, though. Duren is a double-double machine. I think Cade's really good. We've argued about this before. I think Cade's
He's
really
all
good.
right.
He's very good in my opinion. He
You
only
think?
played
Hold
12.
on. So you think he's better than Jaden Ivey?
Yeah, I think he's the best player on this team. 22 points, 4 rebounds, 7.5 assists, 45% from the field. His 3-point percentage is still a little shaky. Jaden Ivey, though, I will say that's been what's been a big difference for them, is actually using him like to the fullest of his ability, starting him, which I don't know. We were talking about that, why Monty Williams was what he had against Jaden Ivey for whatever reason. But Cade Cunningham, I think he's the best player on that team. I think he's a really good player, pick and roll guy, makes the right decisions, has a mid range. He's gone better with his jump shot. And I'm happy for him that he's not missed too many games this year. He's missed, 10 games. So this team sucks, though. They're going to have to just build through the draft, and it's unfortunate scenes for them.
They also got rid of Killian Hayes after replacing Jaden Ivey with Killian Hayes in the starting lineup, and then all of a sudden, he's gone. Killian Hayes is now off the team completely. Just a weird. It just goes to show you, like Flea the other day, he made a big mistake, Flea, by saying that the NBA there was such parity. And it's like, no, there's like 4 or 5 teams that are horrible in the league right now, horrible for whatever reason, and it just seems to work that way. You can't have total parity. You're gonna have some teams that are trash because you got guys. We always point to the players, right? It's easy to say Killian Hayes sucks. Who the hell is the general manager up there? It's some nepotism going on in Detroit, right? All these guys know each other and they're hiring their family members to go do this. This is horrible. And billions of dollars we're talking about. Like, we're on here right now. Why is it that me and you seem like we care more about that organization? That is insane. And this is the reality of things. Oh, look who jumped in. He heard his name.
Yeah, I heard my name.
He's with
I
the
heard my
game.
name.
There's no parity in the league. Big Flea, what's going on, baby?
What up? Don, what up, baby? I know
2 seconds
I
on
probably
your
should
lowly
hit you.
Pistons.
I should have hit you offline, but appreciate you, brother.
No problem, man. Anytime. Should we go on to the next team? Add you in right away. Get into this Cleveland Cavaliers. You got something on what we were gonna say?
I had a couple quick things, but we could get into the Cavs in 2 seconds. One, the underdeveloped wings who don't realize how great they are tend to fit, and just in my opinion, tend to be more comfortable on the perimeter, dancing with the rock, trying to get to where they go. Jason Tatum hasn't realized how great he is. I saw the sit down with Malika Andrews. She asked him, who's the best player in the league? He said himself. That's the first time I've ever heard him say that. As she said, I asked you this a year ago, and you said it was Giannis. So I think not saying that, like, I agree with your point, Fabian, about the clutch moments, but if a guy is a Kobe disciple, if a guy is somebody that has watched Kobe Bryant, that has reverence for Kobe, you'll understand. Bean was never out on the perimeter playing with the rock, pounding the rock. He wasn't Melo. He wasn't T-Mac. He wasn't those guys that take 5 to 8 seconds to get into their stuff. Bean wanted to get you to the short, to the mid post, bread and butter, get to my spot, and rise up over you at 6'6", 6'7". Tatum is 6'10", can see over every majority of the defenders that are guarding him. Once he realizes, and I think he's finally realizing that, he can get to 2 spots on the floor and nobody can stop him. So I just wanted to make a comment on that conversation y'all was having about Tatum. And yes, there is parity in the league. It's been 5 different champions in the last 5 seasons. It's parity.
But okay, but in terms of that, okay, sure. But what we would, I guess the latter part of that that statement was there's no bad teams. There certainly are, and we don't focus on the general managers and just front offices. We either not caring or just doing a bad job, or this is the natural order of things. If you're gonna have good teams, you're gonna have to have bad teams. There will never be a natural parity. You're never gonna, even in the 90s when they attempted to have one superstar on each team, it's not gonna work. It just wouldn't. Melo didn't take 8 seconds to get his stuff going either, sir. Scam Likely, what's going on? Let's move on to the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Wow.
Just
second seed, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see where we all had them for the season. By the way, Fabian, you were the only person that didn't have the Celtics first. You had the Knicks first. You did, and then
Who was second?
the Boston Celtics.
Come on, man. I'm right there.
Yeah,
Very close, by the way. The Celtics just 2 weeks ago, the Knicks were 2, Celtics were first. I'm just saying.
Right.
I'm just
Very
saying.
close. No, absolutely.
Can I
Wasn't
jump?
that far off.
Can I jump off Cleveland? Or you showing where we had them?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna show where we had them first,
Okay.
or
Go
tell
ahead,
where we had them. I had the Cavaliers finishing 4th. Flea had the Cavaliers finishing 3rd. All Ball had them 3rd, and Fabian had them 5th. So all of us were pretty high on them. They're doing even better than all of us expected. Flea, you can kick us off.
So I wanted to say about the Cleveland Cavaliers, and it's probably not, I'm probably not going to get a lot of support, and that's fine. I'll stand on that island by myself. We, as a New York Knicks team, need to be more concerned about the Cavs and stop thumping our chest about what we did in the playoffs last year. That was last year. We need to get over that. Good teams, come back and are better, perform better. That team could have easily said, damn, we had such a great season. We came into the playoffs and really got thumped, and could go back and really have no confidence, lack confidence, come back, start the season off poorly or all that kind of stuff. They started off fairly average and then went on like winning 14 out of 16 or something like that, right? We need to be more concerned about them. They're a year older, just like we're a year older. We've added pieces and things like that. They haven't made big additions, but the additions that they did make has helped them tremendously on the defensive end. I don't really care about, what Donovan Mitchell is doing. Donovan Mitchell is a star in this league, and he's been a star for a while now. So what he's doing is not surprising. 3rd in the league in scoring right now. Like, he's been amazing this season. We need to be more concerned about this team. Their coaching is not highlighted enough. JB Bickerstaff is doing a hell of a job. Like, he needs to be highlighted more on the job that he's doing, figuring that thing out. And they were able to maintain a level of winning, staying over 500, winning at a high clip, minus Mobley and minus Garland. I think that's impressive, those being two of the better players on that team. And so I'm not surprised by them, but I will be honest with you. As a Knicks fan, knowing that we may collide in the playoffs, I'm more concerned about them this year than I was last year.
Fabian, you got anything to rebuttal with that?
No, I think he's on point with that, because if we're gonna be so gung ho about our month of January, which was like a record amount of wins that we had as an organization, 14 or 15 wins, I forgot what it was, since like That was the highest amount of wins that we've had since 1994 or something like that. The Cleveland Cavaliers have been destructive. The number one thing that I pointed to that makes the most sense to me is pace. The teams with the slowest pace in the league, they're the ones that really lead the way. And I thought, these last 15 games, they finished higher than this, actually. Boy, was I wrong. So Cleveland isn't as good as I thought they were, pace-wise. But that's their flaw. And the one guy that stands out, the two things that stand out, Mobley's three-point shooting, a lot more selective. He's taking less than a three-point shot per game, but he's hitting it at 40%. So those are going to be like really crucial three-point shots, right? But that means he's taking more two-point shots, which is going back to what Feli's saying, JB Bickerstaff. That's all JB Bickerstaff. Jarrett Allen, you let Ben Simmons push you to the ground, but at least you pushed him. Jarrett Allen used to get pushed around by Joel Embiid. That was an automatic take Joel Embiid for the double-double against Jarrett Allen because Jarrett Allen was soft. I thought, you live and you learn. You could bet on Jarrett Allen getting 10 rebounds versus Joel Embiid. That was not the case. This season, he seems has a lot more tenacity, and that's just that. And I think JB, watching the Cleveland games, to me, I got to be careful what I say because it's not about benching Darius Garland. It's about spelling those minutes with how do you sit him and allow Donovan Mitchell to run the starting lineup or whatever lineup it is, because the guy that's going to scare me to death, and I made this video. People think I'm crazy. The white Ray Allen, Sam Merrill, is getting on my damn nerves. He looks crazy. And maybe it's just maybe he's just a flat.
Stop him, please.
Maybe
Sam Merrill, Ray Allen, white Ray Allen.
Maybe he's just a flash in the pan. It could be just that. But that's the thing that you need, the Steve Novak type. If you coach that up the right way, then you open things up. Remember, they didn't have that last season. The Cleveland Cavaliers did not have a three-point shooter that made us worry at all. Darius Garland had a broken nose or whatever it was. Donovan Mitchell still shoots way too many three-point shots. But if you have somebody on the court, just like Jalen Brunson, totally different player when you have Julius Randle out there, 2 or 3 three-point shooters out there with Jalen Brunson on the floor. He can operate way differently. Same thing for Donovan Mitchell. You can't crowd the paint on them if you have Sam Merrill out there. They don't have another Sam Merrill out there. It's Mobley who gets to sink out, and you have to worry about him, who can shoot 40% from 3 right now, and Sam Merrill. There's nobody else that could do that on that team. Matt Strus, whatever his damn name is, you keep calling me like he's my cousin or something like that, Flea.
Your twin.
Whatever. He's not on this level. He's not on this. I suggest you guys go watch some of the white Ray Allen. Better be watching your mouth. He is the boogeyman.
Isaac Okoro, Max Strus, and what's my man?
George Niang.
Not Niang. What's my man? Wade. That's
Dean Wade.
Dean Wade. Are you kidding me?
Dean Wade. Three guys that are being put on the floor right now because all they want to do is play defense. Now, yeah, Okoro likes putting the ball up. No doubt about that. But he's learned that the only way that I'm going to be in rotation and be a guy that could play for JB Bickerstaff, I got to defend. Flat out. A gift and a curse for that team was Garland going down. Like, it sucks because he's an excellent player, all-star level type player for you. But it just reminded us that, hey, Donovan Mitchell as your best player, good things can happen for you, Dom. He got off on his Sam Merrill or whatever that dude's name is, Sam Decker. They all look alike.
I love it. Dom, listen, you and Flea always doubt me. The visionary himself, bless you, always doubt me.
Thank you.
I was trying to be nice.
Bless you.
Beware of the redneck Ray Allen. He's coming to get you. And I'm terrified of him. We're going to see at the end of the season. Hopefully we get healthy and we can combat this. But the redneck Ray Allen is not for play.
Well, the Cavaliers, what's impressed me is that Evan Mobley and Darius Garland missed a bunch of time, and they still were able to not only play well, but play really well, climbing up these standings. And I'm really disgusted at how little media attention they've gotten. They've been one of the hottest teams in the league. They beat my Clippers. And again, second straight year, they're top 2 in defensive rating. Last year, they were first. This year, they're second. Jared Allen is having an even better year this year than last. He's been, you can argue like on the brink of being an all-star. And I mean, this year he's averaging 16 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, and he's shooting 65% from the field. That's pretty good. He's a rim protector. Block shots. I don't know where he's at on the list, but he's averaging 1.2. Evan Mobley, 1.5. And by the way, Evan Mobley only missed 3 games last year. This season, he's missed 23. And Darius Garland only missed 13 games last year. And this year, he's missed 24. So both of them have been – go ahead.
I'm glad you brought that up. Can we stop the Tim Duncan? Can we stop the Tim Duncan KG comparisons now? Evan Mobley? Evan Mobley.
No, I'm not moving off that. Mobley absolutely has potential to be Kevin Garnett-like type player. I'm not moving off that.
But we're mad because I called Sam Merrill Redneck Ray Allen. You got some nerve. You compared this man.
This is his third year though now, Flea. He hasn't really improved much, has he?
And Sam Merrill, what kind of sample size have you seen from Sam Merrill that lets you know that first you could even say his same name with Jesus Shuttlesworth? Like, how dare you? Sam Merrill?
Well, if you read between the lines, Utah.
Somebody's gonna screen record this and send it to him, and he's proving wrong. I got. Where's Sam Merrill from? You said Utah.
Yes. Read between the lines. A poor man's Ray Allen, a white poor man's Ray Allen, redneck Ray Allen. Read between the lines. You didn't call Evan Mobley a poor man's Tim Duncan or a poor man's Kevin Garnett. You called him a straight up. And initially, I got caught up in that too. But enough is enough. He's not that. And defensively, he's definitely not that. He can help. He's a help defender, but they're not a number one. If he was anything like Kevin Garnett, Dime, come on now. If he's anything like Tim Duncan or Kevin Garnett, they're going to be by far the best defensive team in the league. I think we lost Flea to the gulag.
Well, Evan Mobley's stats are not really that different than last year. About 16 points, 10 rebounds, a block and a half a game. I will say he's shooting 41% from 3 this season, but compared to last year, 22%, but he's shooting 0.8 attempts per game. But I love Evan Mobley. I think he definitely is a great defender, and he's still a good player. You just want to probably see him grow a little bit more. But the injury definitely hasn't helped. I think something that's underrated for this team is that Isaac Okoro has taken his 3-point percentage from 36 to 39. Last year, you guys really made him shoot, and he shot 30% in that series, or 31%. He was a complete liability offensively. We'll see if that makes any difference. But it's another really good year defensively for the Cavs. I think Strus, averaging 12, 5, and 4, even though his efficiency is not that great, definitely helps. And just having more quality role players, because last year they didn't have that. And Donovan Mitchell, his PPG is about the same, shot attempts about the same, but he's averaging more rebounds, more assists, a tad less efficient. But I got to give the Cavs credit, man. A year of continuity is definitely good. Let's see how high they finish. But this is definitely not something to sneeze at, man, as Flea would say. I mean, they've been really good, and Donovan Mitchell should be top 5 to 10 in the MVP race. This is amazing what he's doing.
Yeah,
he does it every year in the regular season.
Yeah, but he's earned it this year. The guys were missing and everything like that. But the Okoro stat was amazing. I didn't realize he jumped 3%, and I want to know if that percentage changes with Darius Garland out there compared to the redneck Ray Allen. He opens things up for them, and you're right. D Mitchell, he's earned some MVP talk. You know what I mean? He's earned that, right?
Now let's talk about the Washington Wizards.
Hold on, Don. But can we talk about the Wizards and the Hornets? And just bunch them up?
We can put them on together. They're both pretty garbage. But the Wizards, I think Bilal Coulibaly is an interesting prospect. He has athleticism, but for the most part, they're a disaster. Jordan Poole has been so unbelievably disappointing. I mean, I thought he would shoot 20 shots a game this year. He's shooting 14 shots a game. He's shooting 40% from the field, 30 from 3, and averaging 16 points. I don't even know what to say about him. The only thing I can say is Kuzma's getting off, and Denny Avdia has taken a big leap this year. He's averaging 14, 7, and 4, and his efficiency is great, 52% from the field and 40.5 from 3. But this team is awful. They just traded Daniel Gafford to Dallas. They got to build through the draft. I'm not too high on. I mean, Kispert is what he is. He's a shooter. I mean, what else can I say? Johnny Davis doesn't look like he's much of an NBA player right now. I like Denny Avdia. He'll be a role player in the NBA. But yeah, that's all I got. They're a disaster. Jordan Poole, so disappointed in him.
Yeah, even fully healthy, the Wizards are garbage. If you would have if you would have polled people 2 years ago who was better between Jordan Poole and Tyrese Halliburton, it might have been me by myself saying Halliburton is way better than him. This is disappointing. There's no way you're gonna get 20 shots, 20 more shots a game when you turn out to be this bad. The Hornets, though, Brandon Miller has to be talked about. Brandon Miller is sneaking into that 3rd spot for Rookie of the Year so far. He's earned it.
Yeah,
And
he's
the
been
injuries,
impressive.
of course, fully healthy. The Hornets are a different story. They will be competitive. I've seen him compete against the Mavericks when LaMelo was out there and he was there for like that 10-game stretch or whatever it was. And of course, my guy, Mark, what's the center's name? Not
Mark
Robinson.
Williams.
Mark Williams. Sneaky, good center. And they're just missing everybody, man. The Hornets are amazing. And we forgot to put the Raptors into this group because
No, I think they deserve a little bit more time. I mean, the Charlotte Hornets, Brandon Miller has been impressive, averaging 17 points a game. So far, it's looking like they made the right pick. 44%, 39 from 3. LaMelo was actually having a great season, man. 24, 5, and 8. But then he got injured. That was really sad. And then they traded Terry Rozier. Miles Bridges is having a good season, but it's all the praise I'm going to give him. They just traded for Grant Williams. They traded Gordon Hayward. They're always in rebuild mode. I think they're one of the worst franchises in NBA history, personally. They're 29th in defensive rating, 27th in offensive rating. They're pretty trash, but with LaMelo, they're a different team. With Mark Williams, they're a different team. They're tanking. What can I say about them? Anyway,
we gotta stop saying people are tanking. Mitch Kupchak is leaving as a general manager also. What
are they doing? They're going for lottery balls at this point. They're not going to compete for anything.
Yeah, but this is beyond. Yeah, you know what? You're right, because they trade for Grant Williams, and he sucks, or whatever he is. He's like a mid
They're not
guy.
trying to be good.
Right.
Trading Gordon Hayward, trading Terry Rozier. You're selling. Anyway, they're garbage. Let's talk about the number 3 seed right now. And this one's going to be spicy. Should we wait on these ones? I think we want to wait for the others on this one. We'll save them for a bit. Let's go for the number 12 seed right now. And that is the Toronto Raptors. They traded for your boy, RJ Barrett. They went away from Siakam, saying this year they're going to fully go all in on Scotty Barnes. First, let me ask you, what have you thought about Scotty Barnes? He had his breakout season now in year 3. He became an all-star. He's really improved his jump shot. Thoughts on Scotty B?
He's always just looked talented, but for someone who's that super athletic and he looks like a monster, for someone of that size, doesn't really fully have it together yet. He's got the talent, but he's not. I don't think he's a franchise player. I don't think he's that, because if he was, we would see way more with someone with that who's that talented. For me, in my opinion, but I would love to have him on the team. If he was on the Knicks right now, it would kind of hinder us too, because how do you play him with a team that's trying to prep for a championship? He would have to play second or third fiddle, play with a second unit a lot of times, and he doesn't have that benefit. He doesn't have that luxury in Toronto. That team is an entire second unit in itself, if that. So he hasn't really been around winning, right? You got rid of Siakam, OG Anunoby, all the guys Fred VanVleet, all these guys who had championship DNA. Nick Nurse is gone. This guy's a first-year coach, Darko. What do they really have to show him anything? RJ is coming from. He might be battered coming from the Knicks. IQ, same thing. I don't really know what they're really doing. I mean, RJ's putting up phenomenal numbers. Don't get me wrong, but what is it really doing? Same thing with Scotty's talent. They're gonna need a real 1A, in my opinion. I think Barnes could be a real all-around dude, but he has to sooner than later realize that he needs to come up with a special something to specialize in something. 3-point shot, post up, something. Because athletically, talent-wise, he's just a monster, man. He's a monster, but he has to get his IQ together.
Yeah, I mean, he's having a career year, improved basically in every statistical category. The 3 ball is what's improved the most to me. You're right about what you said. They went a totally different direction. RJ's been really good as a Raptor, though. His efficiency. I mean, 54% from the field that he's shooting as a Raptor in 19 games, 55 actually.
The
So
3-point
good
shot
for
went up.
RJ. Yeah,
Yeah.
37% from three right now. But you're right. They're going a different direction. Let's see how it goes. Emmanuel quickly as well over there. He's averaging 16 points as a Raptor. But yeah, going a different direction. Now let's talk about.
Oh, real quick. The IQ may have lost out on that contract that he wanted too.
Why you
Being
say
on the
that?
Knicks, because he wanted the same thing that who got the 25 million? Is it Brogdon? I want to say Brogdon got the 25 million as a six man at a certain point,
I
and
forget.
Brogdon has six man of the year. Granted, if Brogdon goes to Portland, what do we really hear from him now? It's a different dynamic to come off the bench, play with the second unit, and not expect it to be the 1A guy. Now, IQ kind of goes through the same thing as Brogdon, goes from the Celtics, playoff contender, to the Portland Trailblazers, cellar dweller, and what happens? They act like it. So, is he better than Brogdon? I don't even know. And I love IQ. Most Knicks fans fell in love with IQ, so it's kind of like it sucks to see him not really elevate. But again, we won the trade badly.
Let's talk about the Brooklyn Nets right now, right in your, neck of the woods. They were expected to be about a 500 team. Let's look at where we had them in our rankings. I remember being lower on them than the rest of you guys. I had them finishing 8th. Flea had them finishing 6th. All Ball had them also finishing 6th. And Fabiano, you also had them finishing 6th. So I had them at the lowest. They were 15-15, and then everything started to fall apart. They've recently fired Jacques Vaughn. Mikal Bridges has had about the year I expected, but I did think he was going to be an all-star, and I think a lot of us were confident about that, and he hasn't. He's averaging 22 points a game, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists to go along with a steal on 45% from the field and 37 from 3. And so that's pretty good. That's about what you'd expect. I think just if Mikal Bridges is your number one, you're probably going to be like a play-in team at best. I was talking to my boy Caleb from the Brooklyn Netcast yesterday, and he was saying that defensively, he has not been the same. He's not great at guarding the point of attack because he gets bullied, and then he's gotten beat back door a lot. So it seems like with that added responsibility to be the number one guy, his defense has fallen off a bit. And then, Dorian Finney-Smith is still Dorian Finney-Smith. Cam Thomas is absolutely electric. Welcome back, Flea. And then, so Cam Thomas this year, he's really gotten a chance, and he's playing 30 minutes a night, and he's averaging 21 points a game. He's pretty electric, but he also told me something that was a little bit interesting, and that was that Nick Claxton is not as good in the pick and roll defensively as Nets fans thought he was. I think the best thing to bring out Claxton's defensive specialties is that he can switch onto the perimeter. He can guard 1 through 5, but I think they were resistant to do that when they had Spencer Dinwiddie, who apparently, from his words, was really dogging it the last couple of months as a net. He didn't want to be there, and he was just chucking, basically giving up, and his defense was worse than Cam Thomas. And then you have Ben Simmons, who we talked about. If he can stay healthy, all the defensive options this team has, he's only played 12 games at the back, and he's actually looked a little bit better in the games that he's played. And then Cam Johnson is Cam Johnson. He's not much of a creator. He's a decent defender, but nothing crazy. They just got rid of Royce O'Neal. They brought in Dennis Schroeder, got rid of Spencer Dinwiddie. It's a very average team. I don't know how many games they're exactly behind the play-in spot, but just give me your thoughts on the Nets. And my last thing on them is we thought they were going to be one of the better defensive teams in the league. They're 21st right now. It's been a weird year for them. Kevin Ollie is going to be their interim head coach for the remainder of the season.
Yeah, but I think being 21st, they're also, the rating is 118, 116. And that's pretty similar to the Mavericks, Golden State Warriors, and the Kings. All pretty much offensive teams. Even though Golden State kind of fell off offensively, I still feel like the Nets, because they don't have enough offense, it hinders them on defense. Like it's different if you get to like Mikal Bridges, you get a knockdown guy. Like if Cam Thomas was way more efficient, it changes everything defensively because I think you get more energized, more excited to play defense. Not that you all of a sudden get the stamina to do all that because you score more points, but there is something with the offense. The more your offense is your defense. Like these teams are probably taking off offensively. They know we could take the next 3 or 4 possessions are going to be bad shots because they can't score on us. If you can't do that, then what? You know what I mean? So Cam Thomas is electric when he's on. He's more of a 6-man though. He's microwave kind of dude. Can't start, can't, you know, can't count on him every day in, day out. But he's the guy that all of a sudden will steal your heart from your chest, will take your heart from your chest. He has that sort of ability, but he's not reliable. And neither is anyone else on offense. And Mikal Bridges, the rumors are there to go to the Knicks. It was just reported today that Mikal Bridges and Spencer Dinwiddie basically hated Jock Vaughn's approach to the game by trying to center hit the game plan around Ben Simmons, which is nuts. Like you talk about unreliable. If Cam Thomas is unreliable, what the hell is Ben Simmons? And no disrespect to him and his situation. I heard everything in the books. All you Ben Simmons supporters, I get it, but it is what it is. He hasn't been on that court for whatever reason, and you can't rely on him. So the Nets, they took a chance. But this is again part of what happens with nobody wants to say this, trying to get the Kyrie and KD thing. They had a great thing going on before that, and they took a chance, and they're not the Knicks. You guys are more Hornets than you are Knicks. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of got to recover from that. You know what I'm saying? It's tough for the Nets.
Well, real quick on the Nets, they just did the best thing ever in hiring Kevin Ollie. Like Kevin Ollie,
that's who they hired.
Kevin Ollie should have been an NBA head coach long before and respect to all the black head coaches in the league right now. But Kevin Ollie is supposed to be one of those names, and I'm glad that he is one of those names now. He's got the interim tag, so maybe they'll take it off depending on how it looks at the end of the season. But that is the best thing that they did. I ain't really got too much to say about their roster except the fact that I was wrong about Bridges. I thought Bridges would be an all-star level player this year. I think I told two that. I think I told all y'all that Mikal Bridges was supposed to take another leap. But he's a good player. That's just a little bit, you know what I mean? Too much dip on your chip right now. It's too much dip on his chip right now for him to, understand. He's not on that level yet to carry a franchise, and they put him in that position to do that. And so it didn't breed success. And Jock Vaughn has lost jobs before in short spans of time. So this is nothing new. I don't think he was the guy for the job, but I think they got a different voice in there. And they got a voice in there that is he's just a better coach. I think he's a better coach. So shout out to Kevin Ollie.
We wanted to wait.
OG, good to see you, baby.
What up? What up? Oh man, always good to see my brothers. What up, Flea? Don, Fade, what's good?
We were waiting for you all, Ball. I want to hear your opinion on this team this season, the Milwaukee Bucks. What do we got to say about them, guys? Let's see. We all had them second, every single one of us, except for Fabian. Fabian had them third. Giannis is putting up about the same kind of stats, but even more efficient. He's averaging like 64% from the field or something. Dame, a lot of it's been about Dame. They hired Glen Rivers now. Shocking coach firing of Adrian Griffin. He's 3-7.
They hired who?
Glen Rivers.
Oh, man. Doc Rivers, man. They can name
Whoa, there's only one Doc in basketball. And he went to the University of Massachusetts Amherst. All ball. Milwaukee Bucks. Damian Lillard with help this time with a superstar. They're in the third seed. Thoughts on that?
Okay, just real quick. They the third seed, so we not far off from them being the second seed. I was high on Dame Lillard going there. I don't want to make no excuses, but he got a lot of personal problems going on off the court. I don't want to get into that. But there's no excuse. I got to give props to Flea. Flea been saying it all depends on what's our guy? Middleton. Flea been preaching that for a while. If Middleton is unhealthy. But for some reason, the Milwaukee thing, it seems like Brook Lopez took a step back from playing defense. I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on with my guy Bobby Portis. My guy Bobby Schmurda Portis. So, they older. And then I didn't realize how much of a loss Drew Holiday And what's my guy over there in Phoenix?
Grayson Allen.
Yes. Losing those two, wow. So I'm very disappointed. I'm not gonna say very because they still in third place. But what makes them worse is acquiring Doc Rivers as a head coach. I don't think that helps. I don't want to kick a man when he's down. I'm not into that, so I ain't gonna go too crazy. But I don't think that's a plus. I think that's a negative. So that on top of Dame Lillard not being Dame Lillard, and I have a problem with Dame Lillard showing up and showing out All-Star Weekend. But when it comes to, so for me, I'm disappointed, but they still in the third seed, and I still think with that roster, like Flea said, if Chris Middleton can get healthy, I still think they're the second best team. I don't want to say in the NBA, but they definitely top 5 in the NBA, but they're the second best team in the East. So I'm gonna leave it at this. This team is waiting for the playoffs, so I'm not going to panic. I want to see them in the playoffs.
Okay. I mean,
real-
you got anything?
real-
Go ahead,
no,
Fabian.
No, I want to ask. I don't want to make it a Dame Lillard segment, but does he lose anything all time wise? Like they put him top 75. It was always a Kyrie comparison with him. Because remember Kyrie is still kind of Kyrie in Dallas right now. It's just health. Does Dame in any one of your minds, for you, any one of you guys, does he get lowered in your rankings all time? Do you think differently of him because of what's going on in this season with the Milwaukee Bucks?
I'm not gonna say that now, but if they fail to reach expectations, I am gonna change. My opinion is gonna be a little different for sure. He's got no excuses. That he averaged 30 points last year was his highest scoring season of his career. He's still averaging 25, 4, and 7, but he's shooting 42% from the field and 34 from 3. 42% from the field in this era, and he's a starter in the All-Star game, and he won All-Star MVP and 3-point shootout, but maybe this was to make a point because he's not playing that well. I mean, Giannis is still playing at an MVP level. 31, 11, and 6 with a steal and a block to go with it. 62%.
Damn.
I mean, the guy's been a beast. But I think what All Ball said is very relevant. Last year, they were 12th in offensive rating, but 5th in defense. This year, they're 5th in offense and 17th in defense. I think that starts when you replace Damon, Malik Beasley. Drew Holiday and Grayson Allen with Dame and Malik Beasley. Makes a major difference.
Quick question. When Griffin got fired, were they in the second place?
Yes, they were.
And since Doc, they dropped a spot down with the little loser streak they've been on.
Correct. 3-7 with Glen.
Wow. If I'm
3-7?
Yeah.
3-7. 2 of them without Dame, but 3-7.
Flea, yeah. I just seen a clip, right? And Giannis is very frustrated. When I say, okay.
I watched this whole interview with Malika earlier. And
listen.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm listening to you.
No, just be brief. If I'm Giannis, I'm getting the hell out of there. I did my job. I'm sorry. They not listen. I'm sorry.
What are you talking about? They've given him whatever he wants.
I don't know if this is what he wanted.
What is he? What did the players not want Adrian Griffin fired?
That's not what they want, Dom.
What do they want?
I'll tell you what, Giannis wants to come to New York City. That's what he wants, Dom. Hey, yeah, hate to break it to you. They're gonna listen. They keep telling you over and over again, and you guys don't pay attention. Joel Embiid, we don't want nothing to do with you. It's time for a Knicks moment. Knicks rehab, baby. The glasses are on. You need your shades, Dom. What's wrong with you?
So we're done. That was it on the Bucks?
No, I'm not done. It's part of the Bucks.
No, I got.
The Knicks are next anyway.
Go ahead, Faye.
Yeah, the Bucks got what they wanted. You fired the championship coach, and then you got rid of championship players in Drew Holiday and Grayson Allen, replaced them with somebody who's not a champion. And for me, Dame Lillard does lower. He confirms what he was for me because I didn't think he was Kyrie Irving. I never thought he was Kyrie Irving. And you like, what did he want to do? If he went to Miami, it'd be the same thing. It'd probably be lower, lower on the radar. But he couldn't make up for. It's all good. Like they're worried about running a pick and roll for Dame, and Giannis. Giannis is the dominant personality on the court, off the court. He's being way too nice. He's showing frustrations, passive aggressiveness. That's Giannis' problem. He needs to go and they keep comparing him to Shaq. You need to act more Shaq-like. Shaq would have called everybody out by now. Shaq would have called out everybody. Shaq
But
was not. He was passive aggressive, but he would have called out Kobe, called out Phil Jackson, called out the Water Boy. Giannis needs to go do that right now because Dame ain't stepping up, and you can't care about his whatever's going on in his personal life. I'm sorry, you can't. It's business.
Hold on. Let me play devil's advocate, please. Hold on, Flea. I know you're about to jump in there. 2 seconds. They was in second place, right? Let's not jump out the window. They was in second place. Now, Dom, I don't know if Giannis asked for 4 coaches in the last whatever little span of time, and that's to me what he's really complaining about. I don't know if Giannis asked for this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but my thing is this. I'm gonna just leave it at this. I let Flea go. All this will be erased if they win the finals.
But
All
they
this
won't.
will be erased.
But they're not gonna.
And that's the direction I was going in, right? I wanted to start by saying minus Kevin Durant, because we know Kevin Durant was dropped into Golden State and it was seamless, right? How many superstars can we go back to and remember them being dropped into a new team, whether that's via trade, whether that's via free agency, whatever, teaming up?
Did he freeze?
Yeah, I think so.
Man, that's unfortunate. But okay, now
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah. We got you.
Can y'all hear me?
We got you. Yeah.
Okay.
I can hear you.
No, I just said we could talk about Doc and his coaching and you know, shine the light on his history and all of that. That we could do that. He's earned that. But what I'm saying is we could all have to come back here and retract what we're saying. You remember your shit, OG? Retract the retraction?
Yes.
Like we could all come back here because we've seen things turn after an All-Star break. We've seen things turn when there's a little bit of turmoil. We've seen things turn when there's like, guys get settled into their role. Dame is a top 75 player, so it's like, all right, he's that great that he should fit seamless. But we remember the best player that Dame ever played next to was CJ McCollum. It's the best player he's ever played next to.
Marcus Aldridge.
No, like
No, I'm laughing because I knew Dom was going to say LaMarcus Aldridge.
Yes, he is.
Or LaMarcus, excuse me, my fault. LaMarcus or CJ, my fault, Dom. I messed that up. And 2, I know he hates it. But I'm just saying, those guys were the best guys he's played next to. He's playing next to a 2-time MVP and a guy who's won a championship already. So as much criticism as Dame has earned, Giannis, lead us, man. Lead us. We need you to lead us, man. Well, show me to the promised land. Go ahead.
You made a great point. When LeBron went to Miami the first year, they didn't win.
Right.
Even LeBron with the Lakers the first year, they didn't win. Let's not be mistaken. Boston didn't win yet, and they get them guys dropped over there like FedEx. I don't know how they.
Okay, that's another that Celtics team with Doc Rivers. When they came together, they won immediately.
Right. No.
There's only a few.
No, but Flea, but I'm saying even now, I'm saying with the Boston Celtics, Tatum and Brown tenure, I'm saying, remember, they had Kyrie. Now they got Porzingis. Right. So for me, I don't want to make an excuse. I'm a big Dame guy, and I was high on this move. But for me, guys like teams like Milwaukee, teams like the Clippers, I think they have players. They just want to get to the playoffs. Now, once again, if the Milwaukee Bucks don't win a championship or be competitive in the championship, this is a major failure. I'm talking about game 6, 7, and it's going down to the wire or chip. Anything less than that, this is a failure, and I think Dame is going to look real bad, especially if he don't play lights out. I'm sorry.
I think that the first mistake was saying that this team, that Damian Lillard was a superstar. I've been telling you guys he's no longer a superstar. He's an all-star, and he's showing it this season. He is an all-star. He is not a superstar anymore. And this should not be that difficult of a fit. You're clearly allowed to be the second guy. You can run pick and rolls at Giannis as the screener, and it looks pretty good. I mean, I don't understand. Like, we're making too many excuses for this guy. He's not very interested in playing defense. I like Damian Lillard, but how many passes is he going to get? He got to perform this playoffs. And on the subject of Chris Middleton to end off, I can't speak on Lopez because I haven't watched his defense consistently enough this year. I have, however, heard about Portis being kind of a black hole on offense and that he can't play this 5 defensively. So all ball making, some decent points there. But I will say with Middleton, he only played 33 games last year, and this year he's already played 43. He's averaging 15 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists on 49, 38, 83 shooting splits.
It's not enough. It's not enough.
What do you think? You got to average more. Should he shoot more shots? How many shots do you think Chris Middleton should take per game, all ball?
What is he at now? Can you see what he's at now?
Yeah, he's shooting 12 shots a game.
Easily 16. He should be averaging 20. He should be more aggressive. Yeah.
I think, to be honest, it's a lot of it is the same thing, like with Anthony Davis with the Lakers. Who does Milwaukee have to make it easier for Giannis to operate in the paint?
Damian Lillard.
The pick and roll stuff. He's not a passer. He's not going to make it easier for Giannis to get the ball to Giannis in the right spot in the paint. The same way you got them. Okay, hold on. It's the same guys on the Lakers. These guys want to ball hog, shoot, chuck, and do all that other stuff, but they're not setting it up for Anthony Davis to go in the paint and operate. He just was there with Akeem Olajuwon for what reason? I've been telling you guys all year long. I haven't seen Giannis look this good ever in my life in the paint.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Nah, if you don't, Dame Lillard. Okay, so now they're confused on. I really believe they're confused on trying to cater to Dame, and they should not be catering to him. You should always cater to your number one guy first. Then everything else will fall in place.
Let me ask y'all a question, and this is not justifying or making no excuse. But they have 2 alphas over there. They have 2 number one guys. And if you don't have the coacher or the coach, meaning like you see how that's Steph Curry's team, but when Kevin Durant came over there, it was understood. I'm not saying Dame Lillard is Kevin Durant, but Fave, they have to figure that out. They we can always respectfully disagree. That's why I love y'all like brothers, because we don't never agree on anything, and that's what makes us great. But if they don't figure this out, they can lose in the first round, because once again, you have a coach that can't figure Jack out. So they have a major problem, and I don't know if Dame Lillard is able to take a back seat. I'm just being honest with you. I don't think so.
I think for you to say that and then learning what we learned, and Draymond still saying the same thing that he said, repeating what he said 4 years ago, whenever it was when KD was there, letting him know this is not your team. This starts and begins and ends with Steph Curry. This in Milwaukee starts and ends with Giannis. He's the number one person. Bro, Dame Lillard is in nowhere near. When was the last time he was in an MVP conversation? Giannis is year in, year out in an MVP conversation. This shouldn't even be close. If Dame Lillard thinks he's on the same level as Giannis, he's out of his mind and his ego is out of control. And and maybe you're right. Maybe they do think that way. Maybe the Bucks think that way, and that's the problem. At some point, you got to give up on that idea.
Dom, what Fabian just said about Draymond Green, you can't court someone and then tell them it's not about them. I don't care what Draymond Green says after the fact or in that moment against the Clippers. Y'all went up there and basically begged Kevin Durant to come to y'all. So you can't tell me for those 2 championships he wasn't the guy.
But that's not even the point. The point is that you quoted him to come there, and now while he's there, we're all seeing Steph Curry is still the way the offense is ran through. KD, yes, you make it easier for Steph Curry and everything, but you're still not the guy we base the offense around. Same thing with Milwaukee. If we got it twisted, and so you're telling me Dame got it twisted and they haven't even won? At least KD could say, "Yo, we won 2 with me.
No,
we were unstoppable."
It ain't that Dame got it twisted. If your whole career you've been that guy, this is the thing I say about LeBron when y'all say pass the torch. If it's in your bloodstream, if you've been the guy your whole life, it's hard to not be the guy. To me, it's not intentional, but it's hard for Dame Lillard or any of these superstars to go somewhere. I don't care how many rings Giannis got. Some guys have that makeup like an AI. You my equal. I don't care what you got. I don't care about your accolades. So I'm saying it's nothing wrong with that. To me, that's where coaching comes into play. That's where culture. That's why what Golden State did was so legendary. even going before Kevin Durant with Iguodala, when the coach sat him down. Hey, remember, people can say what they want. Iggy was that dude. And Philly did. He was that dude. Came over and coach told him, hey, I need you to come off the bench. And it just changed the whole dynamic of the Golden State culture. Then when Kevin Durant comes there, we know Steph Curry's the guy. But you know what we're going to do? It's bigger than basketball. We want to win. Here you go, KD. Take us home. I'm not saying Dame Lillard is Kevin Durant. I'm just saying when you've been that guy forever, remember, him and Giannis probably button heads. It's difficult, man. They got to figure that out.
So we're saying the
culture.
same. We're saying the same thing then, all ball.
Can y'all hear me?
We're saying the same. Yeah, we can. I'm sorry, Flea. We're saying the same thing. I just want to finish that up. We're saying the same thing. It's just that it's not going to work because there is no system. The system around Giannis is not as easy as it is to fit around Steph. It's not. It will be harder for Dame to turn into a pass first guard all of a sudden and feed Giannis the ball. He's like you said, that's not in him. That's not in his DNA. That's not who he is. And the Bucks messed up by ever thinking that was it. They made a huge mistake. Like that, we both agree. It's up top.
We'll see about that.
But hold on, Flea was going to say something.
I just wanted to say something about the Bucks, and we can move on. It's not even about the players and all of that stuff, but OG was talking about culture. And for me, I just think culture is something that organically happens. It just is organic, man. You get a group of guys together and the right coach. It's just the right mix of stuff, right? There's a reason why all 30 NBA teams don't have great culture. Like, it's a reason why. It's not that just because you're a professional doesn't mean you just walk through the doors and, oh, this is going to be a great culture because we're all pros and we got drafted. We made the NBA. He's a professional coach. So it's seamless. Every team is not like that. So Milwaukee got stuff to figure out. It's just, I don't think they got the right mix around those two guys. Losing shooting like Grayson Allen. Grayson Allen's the only guy shooting 50, 40, 90 in the league right now. How much could they use that right now? Just in terms of freeing up and getting guys, in different spots. You made a point, and last thing I got to say about them, Chris Middleton. When Chris Middleton wakes up, when Chris Middleton feels a little youthful again, maybe things look different. But, we acting like these two all-star level players, and they got a superstar level player over there, is just supposed to make everything go away. And their flaws are glaring right now.
And I'll tell you one thing. I'm going to end it with this. They're not going to win the championship because they got Glen Rivers, and that's signed their own death warrant right there. So I think here's how we do it. I think we do one last team, and then we do the latest topics, and then we'll end with the last 5 or 6. How's that sound, Fabian?
I'm cool with that. I'm cool.
All right, because the last one is for right now, the New York Knicks. So, I mean, we talk about them every week, but I guess let's put it this way, guys. It's been a very good season so far. Made the trade for OG Anunoby, one of the hottest teams in the league. Lost Mitchell Robinson, but now they're saying he could come back towards the end of the season, right?
Don't give me the line.
So they say.
And then Julius Randle and OG have been out, so it's been a tough last couple of games before the All-Star break. But Jalen Brunson has built off of what a great year he had last year and has been, right there in the top 5 or 6 MVP power rankings. Thoughts on you guys right now in your placement? As far as our predictions, I had the Knicks finishing 5th. Lee had the Knicks finishing 4th. That's what they're in right now. All Ball had the Knicks also finishing 4th. That's what they're at right now. Fabian had them 1st. Who wants to take the Knicks first?
You gotta love it, man. He gotta go first. He gotta go first.
The Knicks have grabbed 53.1% of available rebounds. That's the highest mark in the last 7 seasons of any team. They're the only team that ranks in the top 5 in both offensive and defensive rebounding. That's my number one.
And they're top 10 in offense and defensive rating, 9th in both.
Yes, sir.
They still in top 10 defensive rating. Well, we just creeped up there because of January. Of course, I mean that's the obvious. We're missing OG Anunoby, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, badly. All Ball, damn near not him personally ruined my day, but with the news of Julius Randle might not come back by the end of the season. I never would have thought during his damn tenure I would have ever said, I'm looking forward to Julius Randle coming back, but here I am. I'm looking forward to Julius Randle coming back at some point in time. We're missing him. Jalen Brunson definitely misses him. Makes his life easier. His 3-point percentage is going down. I don't see anything good. Like, they're gonna get burnt the hell out without them guys out there, man. Precious Achiuwa, to Flea's point, Flea is the only person that comments on the NBA I've ever spoken to, ever heard from, that said Precious Achiuwa is not just a throw-in. I've heard other people say it, but Flea was adamant about it.
Facts.
And this is a fact. So, it's health, man. We all have the same concerns. Tibbs, do not run them to the ground. We might come see you at the Garden, all of us together. But that's what it is. It's the health. And because with healthy, I think we all agree is championship or bust.
No. Not championship or bust. You just had to say that just to get off. All right. You want to go, OG?
Yeah. I mean, well, Flea, I'm always going to respectfully disagree with you, my brother. I think with the moves we made, us being the third best team in the East, with of course Joel Embiid, going down, which we don't wish that on anybody. I'm not sold on the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's great. Remember, they regular season teams. I'm not sold on them. So for me, you got Boston, Milwaukee, then you got us. So I do think if we're healthy, that's championship. Or I'm not gonna say or bust, but I do think we have a great opportunity to get there. I thought we was gonna be in the 4th seed again, even without the moves. But now with OG, listen, man, I'm so flabbergasted right now because we got injuries at the wrong time. Fade, Dom, like it couldn't, like a domino effect. It's like, what? And then what make it crazy is, look how bad Milwaukee is playing. Embiid goes down for Philly. So it's like
taking advantage of this moment.
Then literally 3 starters get hurt. An all-star, a potential defensive player of the year, and both of our big men. Because Hartenstein been out the lineup in and out. And then now you have Hart, like everybody got nagging injuries. DiVincenzo, even Bogdan. Like, so for me, as a diehard Knicks fan, I'm not gonna panic, even though y'all know I'm a panicker. I just want us to be patient. I really think we have a solid crew. The only thing is, you got to strike when the iron is hot. Let's say by next year, what if Indiana make another move? Orlando gets better. You get what I'm saying? Embiid is back in Philly, so Dame and them get it together. So right now it's like, damn, we had a real opportunity to like really make something happen. Let's see by the end of the season. But with Tibbs running the guys on the ground, listen, man, y'all dudes is young. Play ball, man. I'm sorry. None of them dudes is 30 plus. Like I said, I get Brunson running him into the ground because he's a small guard. But all y'all other dudes, listen, man, y'all guys is in y'all 20s. This is what it is. We got 30 games left. If we could split this thing in half, or even go 18-12 or something like that. But I'm hurt. I'm hurt because, Flea, I really think, listen, man, we was on fire, bro. We was on fire. And I'm going to leave it at this, even if OG could have stayed, and then maybe we get Randle at the end of the season, I think we would have been good. But for OG to go down at the same time, that hurt. So y'all had us 4th. And, at one time we was the 3rd seed and we was getting up there. So, hey, man, Knicks fans, just be patient. Please be patient.
Biggest advantage I think we have is that we have an identity. Like, we know who we are. We know how we're going to approach things defensively. We know how we approach things offensively, no matter who's in the game. With the roster that we have now, we know exactly how we are attacking teams night in and night out. So I like that. That makes me feel good. What doesn't make me feel good is that I don't think we have enough good players to where we get everybody healthy in at the end of March, early April, that's okay for us to like scratch and claw our way into the playoffs and then figure out chemistry. The team that we have is important for guys to stay healthy. Injuries happen, I get it. But the stroke of bad luck that we just had right now, tell me another team that's hurt like us. Tell me another team that is missing the type of guys, the important level guys that we're missing. Not many other teams are missing, vital pieces. Tell me another team that's missing their best wing defender right now. Tell me another team that's missing their power forward, that their all-star level, all-NBA power forward. Tell me a team who's missing, the best offensive rebounder in the game. Like, we have three pieces that fit perfectly, but if they're not there, we're screwed in a moment. Like, say what we want about Jalen Brunson. Hell of a player, as we can see. He was recognized as an all-star. Just continues to get better and better. But can he carry us with a mediocre roster? That's what we have now. With the injuries right now, our roster is just flat out mediocre. So I love all my Knicks fans, but all the Knicks haters, please understand, this ain't the same song and dance. This ain't going into the playoffs and fully healthy and then laying the egg in the playoffs. So this is not the same type of Knicks culture. We've been using that word. This is not the same. This is different. And this is why I don't think OG is panicking. That's why I don't think Fabian is falling off the bandwagon. And this is why I'm staying loyal, because we could see, like, we got something. Yeah. We got something. I don't know what it is yet, but it's something good. So, like you said to end off, Knicks faithful, be patient. If I was being realistic, I would not expect too much from us going into this playoffs, only because of the timing of things. It's just the timing. I'm not talking about what we have, just the timing of things. I would not expect us to do too much in the playoffs. Be very different. I don't even expect us, that gentleman's sweep that we had against Cleveland last year, that would be hard for us to do with the amount of injuries that we have, potentially going into the playoffs. So, love my team, love our team, but that injury bug really bit us, and that shit bit us, like a pit bull, not like a little gnat. That shit bit us.
I haven't heard anyone put it like that though, Flea. The Knicks lost their identity with all the injuries, and nobody in the league can say that with injuries. The only other team that lost their identity, we just covered them, the Bucks, but that was through trade. We lost our identity through injuries. Mm-hmm. And everybody keeps pointing to the fact that we were under 500 against these teams that are above 500. But when we got OG during our run, we beat the Rockets twice.
Minnesota, Philly,
blew out Philly, blew out Denver.
Dom, if you could, or Fabian, if you could, one of you guys that has the computer in front of y'all, I was just taking a look at the schedule, upcoming schedule, like next 10 games, maybe next 15 games. This is probably the most brutal stretch of this. So to go back to what OG was saying, like, before the All-Star break is when we should have been taking advantage of the Embiid injury, of the struggles that Milwaukee is having, of all of the bottomed out teams that just, are just going to be there. Cleveland is still not fully healthy yet. Like, that injury bug hit us right when we should have been taking advantage. If y'all take a look at what we have upcoming, man, like, I think we play Philly 3 times. We play Boston once. We play Golden State once.
Orlando.
We play all teams that are above 5, all winning teams. Let me just say that. All winning teams in the next 10 to 15 games. And this is a brutal schedule. 2 weeks from now, y'all, 3 weeks from now, and y'all know I try to be realistic, but OG, I know. Like, 3 weeks from now, we could be talking Knicks playing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I want to. I'll let Dime see what we can. He's gonna be an empathetic Clippers guy, right? And from the outside looking in, but it feels storybook like, where we need to overcome the injuries to win a championship, because we saw, for me, the potential, their championship squad fully healthy. But we can say that about, people say the Clippers are a championship squad fully healthy. Denver, same thing. They've said that before. So we were able to say that at a certain point. But now with these injuries, it's gonna feel like a fairy tale a little bit for them. We got to hope. There's a lot of hope that we have to do right now. Randall has to come back for this to happen.
Fabian, all ball. Last question, and then let's move on. Dom looks like he's nauseated right now. So
No,
not with the Knicks talk. I'm not with talking about the Knicks. With what Fabian is saying.
Yeah.
What I say?
Oh, before you address, go ahead, because I got a question. Go ahead, Dom.
You're not a championship team yet. Like you're not.
Please go ahead, please. I'm sorry.
You're a conference finals team at best.
I have a question because the storybook and all of that had me thinking, and I just want to ask my OJ, Faye, let me ask you a serious question. Which team was better? This 2024 New York Knicks team or the 99 team? Which team was better?
This season.
Huh?
This season.
This 23 team was better than that 99 team.
Yeah, there is no OG Anunoby in 99. Zero.
Marcus
None
Camby.
of that. He ain't no damn OG Anunoby.
What?
Marcus Camby was not defensive player of the year, guarding your big man, guarding your point
Camby,
guard.
Hold on, I don't want to embarrass you, but Marcus Camby is a defensive player of the year. That's number one. Number
99
two,
he was?
Not 99, but in his career.
Okay.
UMass Minuteman Marcus Camby. Thank you.
Yo, he'll shout out. He gonna shout out UMass any chance he gets.
His people.
We don't have that many NBA players, so of course.
So okay, you said the 99 team. OG.
That's
you
this
said
year.
this year.
What's that starting five? 99.
Charlie Ward, Allen Houston, Spreewell, Larry Johnson, Marcus Camby. That's the final start.
Not bad, honestly.
That's who started the finals.
Yes, it is.
That's
Larry Johnson.
Bad. I thought it was worse.
No.
That's after Pat got hurt.
Right. And what's the 2-3 guys coming off the bench?
Oh, Jesus Christ. So here we go. Chris Childs, Chris Dudley.
Just stay right there. Don't listen. I did that on purpose. Do not say any of the listen. I love you to death. This year is better.
Okay.
Because of course, you know, it's not like it was Grandma Ma LJ.
Right.
Like I said, you know, Spreewell, you know,
Spreewell and Allen were all stars.
Yeah. Yes. But you know, I think this season Knicks is a better team, much deeper team. Like remember, this team can go 9-10 deep at times.
Right.
And I think a lot of those. See, our problem with the Knicks. That's why right now we so high on the Knicks as fans. We usually get guys when their careers is like kind of dwindling down. So of course, Allen Houston was still good, but Spreewell, Larry Johnson, Camby, them guys, and then like I said with Chris Chatler, I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna go with this season here.
This season
because you got to remember we have 2 All-Stars, we have an All NBA third, and we have a potential defensive player of the year. Like I said, at times Tips can go 9-10 deep into that bench. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying, to be fair to that 99 team, that was the lockout year, 50 games, and we was the 8th seed. So, and we had injuries, right? Like, we crawled into the playoffs and then got hot. So, I brought up that team because that's something that could potentially happen with this team. You know, find our way into the playoffs and then get hot, and we see where we go from there. So that's why I brought them up.
Nah, you clean that up really nicely, Flea. Oh my God, that you talking about? I'm a spinner. No. You are them glasses. They give you spinning powers that I've never seen before.
That was my purpose. You know, I have a purpose for everything.
Can I ask Dom something before we move on? Because Dom said that very aggressive, right?
He didn't like it,
right? And he does that a lot, right? So Dom, you telling me, that span of us being on fire, getting OG. If Randall doesn't get hurt and OG doesn't get hurt, and then we acquire Burks and Bogdanovich, we're not a championship team?
No.
Okay. Even with the loss of Embiid with Philadelphia and with the problems in Milwaukee.
You'll just have a better chance of making the conference finals, and you'll finish 1 seed higher than I thought you would. So now you're going to be the 4th seed instead of the 5 seed because Philly will probably be the 5 seed. I told you, I agree with Becky. until I see evidence.
This doesn't have nothing to do with Becky. This has
No,
nothing
it
to
does,
do
because
with
that's
Brunson.
why I don't think you're a championship team, because I think your number one is 6'3". You're not gonna win.
So our roster constructed right now was not championship.
Correct. I think Brunson has to be number 2.
Okay, no problem.
Kyrie Irving. That's nothing bad though.
No. Hold on. So we're number 4 with a force in your book. We're number 4 solidified and a conference finalist.
Potential at the highest. That's the ceiling.
Well, that's their cap. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
got you.
that's my
Which
thing.
makes sense.
But if Brunson's the number 2, Randall's the number 3, you get a better number 1.
They lucky we got these injuries, boy. Listen, because was none of this talk when we was on fire.
Yes, it was.
It was.
I've been consistent all year about this.
Yeah, it's been a lot of it's been a lot of hate. I don't want to call it hate, but it's just been a lot of maybe
even
right.
Hold on, even Flea just converted to a superstar bandwagon. Dime is the one. I'm not gonna lie. He's with Becky over there. It's gonna be a real lonely place to be. Dom, get ready.
That means you're deserted. That means you're gonna get to the championship.
Get ready. It's gonna be deserted over there
or win it.
Yo, how eerie would it be? Knicks Clippers in the damn finals. We'd
win for sure because our best player is Kawhi Leonard. Your best player is Brunson.
I just said it would be. I just said it would be.
Our second and third best player is better than your fourth and your second best. I'll take James Harden over Randu.
I'm taking Julius Randle over Podcast P any day of the week. Get out of here with your squad. We will smoke.
Not in a playoff setting. Julius Randle can't even touch Paul George in the playoffs. Can't even touch him with a 10-foot pole. I would love to play the Knicks finals because then it would be the biggest stage to watch us lift the trophy for the first time. And I like the Knicks, but this team is not championship because a 6'3" guy, it's your clear-cut best scorer like that, is not going to lead you to a chip unless his name is Steph Curry. All right, should we talk about the hottest topics in the league? Because we can talk about that Knicks stuff all day long.
Ball. I mean, come on now, Dom.
Hey, man.
We the best of the best.
Listen, man. We know what's hot. I want to get y'all opinion.
Y'all would win for sure. No, I don't know about for sure.
That's why you see, Flea. You see, I gloss right over that.
Means we
was going right to the next topic. I ain't even paying that no mind. Listen, Clippers is dirt just like us. Ain't been nowhere forever just like us. So to automatically think they going to do this and do that. Y'all ain't been in no finals neither. Y'all been to one conference finals in 40 years?
I'm not comparing the Knicks to the Clippers all the time. The Knicks are better than the Clippers all the time.
No. I'm just saying. So sometimes when you say it with a lot of like
just because we have Kawhi now and you don't have a player of that caliber. You have
and we still all in the same boat, brother.
I guarantee you the average population, the average NBA fan right now that's paying attention takes us more seriously to win the championship than you guys.
You could take us serious or not. Y'all in the same boat. We all sitting at the same blackjack table. I'm sorry.
We all roll in the same canoe.
Yep. Right next to each other, like, hey, what's going on, brother? Yep.
What championship DNA do you have on? What championship DNA is on that roster? Kawhi Leonard is is a 2-time champion. Seriously.
Not with the
with the Clippers. So what? Is he still the same human being?
As great as he is.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Cool.
As great as he is, the Clippers is in the same boat as the Knicks. So until any of us get over that hump,
you'd get to the finals and see the Knicks start licking your chops and be very disappointed, Don.
Oh my God.
Yo, shout out to Golden Knight merch, man. Showing a lot of love on Twitter. I appreciate you.
Big shout out.
I don't know if Clippers or Knicks would win, but Lakers winning it all. Golden Knight merch. Listen, we ain't trying to let hell freeze over all of a sudden. Chill out. We over here chilling over here. Oh boy, lead us into today's hot topic. What do you want to talk about? Because for a couple of days with no basketball games, there's a lot of gossip, a lot of bochinche out here.
Hold on. Y'all know what
they was on the All-Star break running their mouths. They was sitting down with any and everybody running their mouths.
I want to get to JJ Redick.
Let's get to it. Let's get to it.
But I want to put a little twist on it. I want to ask y'all a question. How do y'all feel about people speaking their truths? It seems like, media, sports media, just media in general, a lot of people are scared to tell the truth. And JJ Redick's flat out, my opinion, told the truth. Whether, to me, you're right or wrong. But how do y'all feel about his reaction to Doc Rivers and then also Austin Rivers sticking up for his father? But literally while he's sticking up for his father, he proved JJ Redick's point. You don't take no accountability, but then Austin Rivers, in his little rant, basically said his pops don't take accountability. So what do y'all think about guys like JJ Redick, who kind of went crazy today again a little bit with the Kevin Durant thing? How do y'all feel about JJ Redick as a like I said, as a caster, man, so far?
Can I pop it off? Pause.
Please do.
Can I pop this off?
Please do.
You and Dom, I gotta bounce off of what the hell you gotta say.
Well, here's my thing. The problem with this whole like NBA former players turning podcasters, turning media, all that kind of stuff, right? What starts happening is guys start dissecting guys' careers. They start talking about what happened, what you did, with this, that, and it gets dicey because now people are upset about the messenger and really don't even care about the message. So what do I mean? Austin Rivers ain't say JJ was wrong. Pat Bev never said JJ was wrong.
Good point.
They just don't like the fact that he is saying it. Pat Bev never said that dude was wrong. He just said he saved your career. Okay, so now we got to go back and forth. I got to prove to you about dispelling what you said. But you never said I was wrong. You never said about anything saying that I was wrong. Same thing with Austin Rivers. So for a guy that played for Doc 4 years, for a guy that played for one of Doc's better teams after him winning that championship, a guy that's been in the trenches, a guy that's had high moments. Y'all had high moments with those teams, Don, but y'all also had a lot of disappointing moments, obviously. So if anybody can speak from that perspective on who Doc Rivers is as a coach, post his championship, the one that he rests on, I think it's JJ Redick. I don't think that we got to stop getting caught up in, what did JJ do as a pro? Like, JJ was a pro. He got drafted
for 15 years.
A lottery pick. He was a lottery pick. So my thing is, like, how does that invalidate him because he didn't average 20 points? I saw Jerry West, and back when he was like playing against plumbers and this, and I think Jerry West's response was, well, didn't JJ only average 12 points a game? I mean, what does that matter? He's talking about what he saw, what it looked like. He went back and watched. And then for me, this is a guy who doesn't, in my opinion, he doesn't talk off the whim. Like Pat Bev talked about, should Doc look at playing you, go revisit playing you when y'all were up 3-1 and Houston, walked them down during that series, right? JJ comes back with, well, let me show you my defensive numbers during that series and let you know, like, hey, I wasn't a liability. Let's look at some other things, right? So I just feel like they don't like the fact that he's a guy that supports how he talks with stats and numbers and things like that. All of his stuff is all encompassing. It's just not one thing. That's what I like about the dude. He grabs the eye test. He grabs statistics. He grabs facts. He grabs his knowledge of the game, and it comes all into one. And some people like it. Some people don't.
Hold on, Dom, before you go, I just want to say this, and Dom should know about this because it's Clippers news. Remember, JJ and Doc got smoked from the Clippers days because Doc, some losses, what he say in the press, throwing the guys under the bus. So people forget there's light smoke there. This ain't just out of nowhere. Dom, your thoughts? Here we go.
I mean, Glen Rivers versus JJ, like this might as well be Hitler versus Stalin to me. Like seriously, like this is Biden and Trump. Like I hate them both. You could go behind the line with Patrick Beverly and Austin Rivers. Yeah, he's right. I don't like the messenger. You shot 11 for 36 the last 3 games. Your defense against Harden wasn't bad. You shot 11 for 36. You have one job to shoot open shots. You got played off the floor by Joe Ingles. Glen Rivers deserves blame. I haven't heard anybody that his podcast fans defending him. He did take accountability on his podcast. Send me the fucking clip then. I want to hear it out of his mouth. Screw that fool.
Screw who? Glen or JJ?
Both.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, though. If I had a choice to have lunch with one, I would pick Glen, believe it or not. He respects the game overall more. JJ just likes this era in the last 20 years.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that, Dom.
Well, Fabian, Well, did Fleeker respond as well? Your thoughts on guys, just because it's for me, I'm just being honest. It seems like people are scared to tell the truth or give their real thoughts without getting backlash. It's very rare that you see sports analysts or whatever they want to call them, former players. Nobody really calls nobody trash. It's almost like semi you pick and choose. Like I see Kevin Garnett call Jeremy. He said the story with Rajon Rondo when Jeremy Lin had that run, and they was like, man, he trash. But it's very rare you get a player to speak his mind and go, nah, coach is trash. He didn't do this, didn't do that. Your thoughts on that? Should that happen more in sports talk?
Flea, you know me. Oh boy, you know me. Why aren't coaches being called out? They should not be sparing Doc Rivers. The same way, look what they put. Well, I don't say put Kwame Brown through. You get paid millions. It is what it is, bro. We're in the crowd. This is what we do. Y'all all lucky that you don't play in New York, all of y'all, because we would have roasted y'all. You would have heard about yourselves a long time ago. You didn't need Twitter. You walk these streets, you're gonna hear about us. You saw Jalen Brunson the other day. Yo, I love the fact that people just come up to me and they say, yo, what's up, and keep it pushing. They ain't even trying to stop. You know why? Because we all think we're stars over here. And we will tell you about yourself. We're crazy. So I never even thought about it like that, old boy. The fact that a player gets to come out and finally say what we all say, because it seems like they're all scared to say that. Who has said Doc Rivers is garbage as a player? Nobody. And this is not like JJ Redick's first time saying this.
Glenn Davis said that he had to go when he was still our coach. Josh Smith said he's garbage.
But that goes to my point where I was
Josh Smith was better than JJ, by the way.
I was gonna go.
Who?
Josh Smith was better basketball player than JJ.
Why? Because he could dunk?
He was at his peak.
No,
he was a better player.
He was way more talented. He was way more talented.
He was close to being an all-star at one point. JJ Redick was never close to being an all-star. He's one-dimensional.
Close to being all-star.
Yeah, no.
Right.
He was.
We're not about to get into who's better, Josh Smith or JJ Redick. We're not even about to do that.
But please,
it's not a contest.
So other players have said that Doc Rivers is trash.
No,
yes,
I wanted to.
Several have said that he's garbage.
No, that's a lie. Hold on, Fleet. I heard two people say it. Gilbert Arenas, Rasheed Wallace. I've heard nobody else say. Go ahead,
Josh Smith went on a tirade about him.
But that's to my point, OG. The guys that do are not on ESPN, are not on Fox, are not on your mainstream. I watched me and Steven Jackson. I hate Steven Jackson, but Steven Jackson will tell you, yo, you garbage. That dude was garbage. Steven Jackson had a segment with Colin Cowherd, and he's telling Colin Cowherd, I'm better than Ray Allen. Right. I might have been better than Vince Carter.
Ginobili.
I might have been better than Ginobili. Right? So there are guys out there that have no problem giving their unsolicited, I mean, not unsolicited because it is they asking for it, but giving their, just raw, uncut take on guys who they played against. Yes, the NBA is a fraternity, but there's some dudes in that fraternity that love to keep it real. But you're never gonna see them on the TV that you pop on and turn to ESPN or one of them. But when we do sit down and listen to some of these pods, like, yeah, Gilbert Arenas, you right, like you said, Gilbert will tell a dude he's trash quickly and will big up Moochie Norris. I'm like, damn, you bigging up Moochie Norris? That's love. I like that. But you see what I'm saying? That's how I know that it ain't phony. It's real genuine.
No, I can't say that because the Dom's point, they have agendas too. Everybody has an agenda. Do not get me wrong.
It's very obvious what JJ's is too.
What's the agenda? Well, so get into that. What's the agenda?
The agenda is clear that this era is the best, and everything else before it was bad. Was not that great.
That's not his.
Yes, it is though. He said that.
Yes,
I don't know.
JJ, hold on.
Not with the Doc Rivers thing.
No, he said yes. He did.
Listening to him because
I don't want to fuck it.
No, go ahead.
He said that everybody in today's game could play in the past, and only great players from the past could play now. That's bullshit. What Vernon Maxwell could play now? John Starks can make the NBA.
But we talk about the Doc Rivers
situation.
Could
John Starks make the NBA today? Ask yourself that.
Yes.
Hold on. But that has nothing to, which is exactly your point, Flea. That's
Malik
what
Beasley's that much better than John Starks just because he's a better three-point shooter.
That's exactly your point, Flea. This is exactly your point. Pat Bev, and Austin Rivers went on a tirade that had nothing to do with JJ Redick's point. Your man is trash. Now tell me why he's not. We haven't heard. Now Austin Rivers got close to it. What Pat Bev said was garbage. Yo, he gave you a spot. So you basically wanted him to he silenced him. You wanted him to get extorted.
Right.
Pat Bev is saying he got me 40 million, so I ain't saying nothing bad about him. I respect that, but don't tell JJ Redick don't have to worry about all that. JJ Redick got 1 million followers on YouTube. We'll go on ESPN and talk that talk. JJ Redick is who he is, regardless of what Dom got to say. So you're stuck between a rock and a hard place, Dom. I get it, but his agenda has nothing to do with the fact about what he said about Doc Rivers. And you're right, Old Ball. I forgot Gilbert Arenas did say that, but I don't know his agenda sometimes. Like with Gilbert Arenas, he's entertaining and there is some information, but everybody does have an agenda. JJ Redick, I'm not sure.
But
hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, but hold on. This is the problem I have with this is why I advocated for James Harden so much, and I advocate for now JJ Redick, because people put one thing that has nothing to do with another. So now people are trying to say JJ Redick wasn't a good basketball player.
No, he was solid at what he did.
No, hold on. Look. Don't be so defensive. That wasn't even a question for you. But now we're making your question. Tell me how Josh Smith is better than JJ Redick. That's all I want. No. Wait,
more athletic, better rebounder.
No, wait.
Could create his own shot much better. Come on, man. He was close to being an all-star for a reason.
You keep saying, come on, man. How many years did Josh Smith play in the league? Miami Business League.
He might have played that a little. He played from the 04-05, I believe, to what? To like 2017. He might have not lasted as long, but in his prime, he was definitely better than JJ.
So see,
what's JJ's icon? Does JJ have an iconic playoff moment? Because Josh Smith has that moment against JJ and us.
JJ Redick has an iconic. JJ Redick has an iconic career.
How is that iconic? College? He had an iconic Duke career.
He might be one of. So we sneeze at that then.
No. College
I just think we pick and choose when to use certain parts of players' careers to boost them. Like, we could. Melo never won a championship. He won a championship as a he'll get in because of the totality of his career, not solely because of his NBA career. So we could use JJ Redick and what he did prior to becoming an NBA player, but I don't even care about that. He was great at Duke. Great. I don't have nothing. But
and for me, he had a solid NBA career. He turned himself from just a pure shooter to being able to defend. Not saying he was a great defender. Once again, not saying he was a great defender, but he was nagging on defense. My thing is this. See, this is what happens. He says something true. So because a person may not like him, now we pick at everything else. He said exactly what he was supposed to say. That's the truth that everybody's been thinking and is scared to say it. And I ain't scared to say jack. Now, when you go back to Doc Rivers in Orlando, and I've been saying it, he had nothing to do with the Boston Celtics championship. That's why they say Rondo and them guys did that on their own on that court. He failed everywhere he went. Everywhere he went. That's a fact. So him failing everywhere he went in a player that played under him, pause, for however many years, and watch Doc Rivers throw them Clippers teams and them players under the bus, and JJ Redick had enough. Because once again, this man comes into a situation that's tailor-made for him like his whole career, and he does nothing but fail. He never was a good coach. That's just a fact. And to say JJ Redick wasn't a good NBA player, he played 15 years. He was decent. And for everybody to just all of a sudden, oh, this, oh, that, nah, it's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. You don't last 15 years, get minutes, he might be one of the greatest Duke players to ever play at Duke. How do we sneeze at that?
I mean, it don't matter. And that's not refuting everything you're saying, OG. It's just I hate that you even have to do that for that guy. You shouldn't even have to do. We got to stop having to validate these. What he said was right. It's just that's it. They ain't gotta be okay if he wasn't an all-star. He got to shut the fuck up. No, he was a player that played, kept a job. It's not easy to keep a job in the NBA. I don't care what area you're in. It's not easy to keep getting calls to come and be a part of my organization. That's not easy. He did it for 15 years straight. So everybody needs to just be honest. I love the fact that Dom is just honest. I don't like him. So that's just is what it is.
But I disagree. I think Dime and these guys online, like I said, I've seen JJ Redick's agenda with the old school and stuff like that, but that has nothing to do with this. Because remember, Doc Rivers also, JJ Redick replaced Doc Rivers as the NBA championship color commentator for the same network. He has some risk to take when he's making a comment like that for the same network. If Doc Rivers had some more cachet, I don't think JJ Redick makes that comment. Not for nothing. I don't know about that. Because if Doc Rivers says, you know what? I'm not gonna take this Bucks job. And let me go back to that championship slot. If he had some cachet, he could bump JJ Redick potentially, but right now he can't. JJ Redick got some cachet, and he's taking advantage of it, Dom. I don't see where yourself, Dom, no disrespect, Dom, and everybody else online who's just totally trying to like really belittle JJ Redick's playing career because he got something to say about Doc Rivers, who you don't even like. I really don't. I am trying to understand where is that coming from. Why is it what they call an ad hominem attack on JJ Redick for why? I don't get it. Because you don't like him?
You guys know how I feel about Glen Rivers. Like all the stuff that All Ball said, he's 4 years late to the fucking party. Like this channel and my subscribers have seen the agenda about Glen Rivers since we began this channel. You guys have all known. This is obvious. I don't know how he keeps getting jobs.
Okay, so all right, now look at read this guy. JJ Redick was Mr. E saying that about legends of that game that helped the league grow immediately invalidates any opinions you have on basketball. No, it doesn't. No, and that's another thing. People get very arrogant about I've been wrong. You're gonna be wrong, guys. I hate to break whoever's in the damn comments. You're gonna be wrong today.
I'm always wrong.
You're gonna be wrong. That's
really the problem. That all these guys never want to be wrong. And they want to including JJ Redick. Don't get it twisted. He's another arrogant dude.
What do I always say to you, Fabian? What do I always say to y'all? Like, yeah, we take what we say very serious because, we enjoy rapping with each other. But I don't take myself too serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, off the screen, even in real life, when I'm, moving in real life, I don't take myself too serious. Like, I'm not devoid of saying, hey, you could have did that better. You know what I'm saying? I'm not devoid of laughing at myself. I'm not devoid of saying, hey, you know what? I was wrong about cat, dog, mouse. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not afraid of that. People in the comments and most people they're afraid of they take themselves too serious. I know everything about the game of basketball. Shut the hell up. No, you don't. You're gonna be wrong at some points during this journey. It just is what it is.
But Fleet, I'm sorry, and one of y'all will go after this. Saying that about legends immediately invalidates any opinion you have on basketball.
That's goofy, Mr. E. You're goofy for that.
The fact that we're looking for any single moment to invalidate someone is crazy to me. I swear to God, you could never be around me in real life. Forget about this is the internet, bro. You come around me talking like that, I will laugh at you personally. But like I will before it becomes a little bit more physical, whatever, bro. Get away from me. Invalidate. Who do you think you're talking to like that? You're the government? What are you talking about? Invalidate. That was crazy. That's nuts, Dom.
I mean, like I said, for me, I just like, when guys speak their mind. And like I said, those are two grown men. His son didn't have to. But Dom, like you said, there is an agenda with everywhere. It's no coincidence ESPN got his son up there, and then they're going to ask him that question. So for me, it's agendas everywhere. I don't care about none of that. My whole thing is he said something that was true. If you notice, nobody said nothing. Nobody came to Doc Rivers' defense. Right, exactly. My thing is, I like JJ Redick on TV. Yeah, sometimes he comes off a little smug and he's a little ignorant and all that. But at the end of the day, everybody can't be kumbaya because nobody's telling the truth. Nobody else is going to say on national TV, Doc Rivers is a bad coach. Maybe we'll say it.
They played the game and watched these dudes who didn't play. And I'm talking about on their level, not play period. I'm talking about the NBA level. Like, I get that distinction. When you say you don't know the game of basketball, you can't tell me that because we all know the game of basketball. But I'm talking about when they talk about, like we all say, levels to this shit. He's talking about playing at the highest level in the world, which is the NBA. Like, you can't, like, he was salivating to get on that show and get everybody together and get everybody right in terms of that, because a lot of them are just up there saying whatever and not, and taking themselves too serious. I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm saying. I know. Nah. Have a little parity in what you're saying. Are you really trying to get educated? That's a question I asked y'all earlier in the chat, and I thought that was a hell of a question that he asked. Do fans of the game of basketball, do people that watch and never played it, do they really want to get educated, or do they just want to be a part of the conversation because it's cool?
But Flea, real quick, and I would love to hear Dom and Fabian on this. Yeah, we want to get educated, but these guys got to get off their high horse. These guys think they big. Some of these guys really think they God. Like, I watch Michael Jordan get out of a car and just walk by a little kid like he don't even exist. And this might be the same little kid that's begging their moms to buy sneakers. Like, these guys, bro, they in their mind they bigger than life. So yeah, listen, you have some guys like us that's basketball purists that love the game, that we love to hear from these guys, talk to these guys, but in their mind, who are we? Bro, we all human beings. So for me, it's no answer to that question. That's a setup question. That's the TV. Like, it's no answer to that. It's no, because remember, if you talk to us, you gonna rock with us. I go, yeah, because we're official with it.
Right.
We ain't starstruck. No, we want to know the game. We want to know the ins and outs. We want to know about everything.
That right there.
But these guys, once again, they already got the built-in excuse. Oh, remember, their thing is, if you ain't play at that level, you can't even talk basketball with them.
Yeah, and that's crazy to me.
But we watch a guy lie about his whole career, Stephen A. Smith, and been giving pointers on basketball for 50 years. Come on, bro, this whole shit is rigged. But at the end of the day, for Sportsmen, we here, man. We here. So
here to stay.
Come on, man. Come on.
You heard? I can't stand.
Get both these guys the fuck out of here, man. Just caused me pain.
Yeah, dog.
Choked in the playoffs. Like, I still need a soundbite on JJ admitting that he shot 11 for 36 and then got played off the floor by Joe Ingles after a couple of years.
How did he even get to attempt 36 field goals?
Not in one game, in 3 straight games.
During the series. It was during the series.
I was about to say the Lord.
I want to stick to the point, because remember, we got to chop this up. When JJ Redick said, since when do players have to educate the public or whatever it is?
When is it their job? When is it their job? That's what he said.
Bro, let's stick to that topic.
Okay.
JJ Redick, you are in front of a microphone. You decided to have a post-game career. The analysis that he does as a former player, part of the reason why we even know who you are is because you were who you were at Duke. Primarily, that is numero uno. That is 100, damn near 99.9% of the reason why you are JJ Redick, being a former player at that level. And then you're coupling that with the fact that it has nothing to do with I love Flea, talking basketball with Flea because he played ball. No, I like talking to Flea because he sounds like another human being that sounds like they know what they're talking about. Period. No matter what your background is. JJ Redick is another guy. He comes off the same way, but the attitude comes off like, to even come up with a question like that. There's even a segment where he told Mad Dog and Stephen A. Smith, you guys sound like you've never played at the highest level ever before. So why are you sitting there? You sitting there because another guy that never played basketball before, who faked his basketball career, created that whole segment for you. What are you talking about? You're on there every day, damn near, to promote your stuff. It is, you talk about arrogant and you talk about hypocritical, that's where JJ Redick loses me. No, you cannot talk like that.
Apparently, he's never been wrong in his life. He's the savior of NBA media. He's the second coming of Christ because he knows the modern game.
That's right. Dom, hold on.
99%. He said,
I love the dude. I love him because he's getting casuals, and when I mean casuals, I mean people who are not purists, who just want to dip their toe in when they feel like it and dip out. He's getting all of them together. He don't be talking to us. Just remember that. He's getting the people together that want to be down, but ain't really down.
Let me say this before I forget. Y'all know me. I laugh at myself, man. I keep telling y'all, if it ain't fun, I don't want to be part of it. I'm not here to be right. I'm not here to be wrong. I'm here to have great basketball sports talk with good people. That's it, right? But the majority of the world have this thing where they say, you know, if you ain't play at that level, you shouldn't be able to talk basketball. Whether it's NBA players, whether it's whoever, right? These same people got Kaiser Soze. So all the geniuses, all the guys at this level, Michael Jordan is texting Stephen A, who Kaiser Soze the whole thing. So all these years, y'all been taking advice from a guy that never played. But y'all is the same guys that got the nerve to tell me and anybody else we ain't play at that level, so we shouldn't be able to talk basketball. How smart are y'all? JJ Redick, you sitting next to a person that ain't do near nothing on the court. Come on, bro. Cut the jokes. Cut the jokes. We all human beings, but y'all all got duped, and I love it. Come on, man. You can't make this up. So all you guys that play at this level or want to talk all this and all that, listen, man. How do you feel getting Kaiser Soze by the GOAT, Stephen A. Smith? A Flea, Dom, Fade. He lied and got a over $100 million contract and got all these niggas thinking he's the guru of basketball. Come on, man. You can't make this up, man. Go ahead, man. Y'all gotta have it, man.
Fleet, Big Queens is in the building.
Yeah,
Big Queens is in the building
Big
on
Queens,
ESPN every single day.
Big Queens,
At
Big
Disney
Queens,
on
never
Smash.
Big Queens, never the little one. You mean? Like, so yeah, listen.
But what is Flight and Dom? I don't know if you taking part in that already in that topic. What do you feel about someone saying that? When was it a responsibility for a player to educate us?
And I wanted to touch on that. I think like, and you got on your spin shit, and that's fine. I'll let you cook, but let me help you how you spun it. He was talking about. He said that's our job now. Yes, that is my job now. As an analyst, as a guy that's on TV now, that is my job. Stephen A. Smith, that's your job. Mad Dog, that's your job. Whoever comes on these platforms, that's our job now because this is the space we in. But is it Kevin Durant's job to combat? And I'm asking, I'm not saying I'm an advocate for either or. I'm asking you, Fabian. Is it his job, since he does engage with the masses, when somebody says you're not the GOAT or you're soft or something like that, at that point, is it his job to educate them on the game of basketball, or is it his job to show human emotion?
I think it's his job to do whatever he wants to do. He afforded that with the DNA lottery that he won. That's cool. But when you are JJ Redick and you're saying exactly what you just said, who is JJ Redick beefing with today? Austin Rivers, right? A former player, so he's in the same position as JJ Redick. But who's the other guy he was beefing with today? That's going back and forth with him.
Pat Bev.
Who's currently playing in the NBA. So if you're telling me that he's not supposed to be educating you, and he's doing the same exact job that he will be doing post-career that he's doing now, and you're telling me he's supposed to be absent of the educational part, that makes zero sense to me. You will lose credibility on whatever you're trying to do if you start off now by being a clown.
Did you hear what I said?
I heard what you said. You're saying should KD, should he be telling us him being his
current
real emotions
that have podcasts? Should it be centered around educating the fans on the game of basketball? That's what I'm asking.
Oh, they could but no. He said that if you are done with your career, then it's your responsibility. It's our responsibility to do that now because I'm done with my career. Pat Bev is not done with his career. Podcast P is not done with his career. Trae Young is not done with his career. Draymond Green is not done with his career, and they're all sitting there educating us. I don't want to hear that.
Please, hold on.
So it's specific. So specifically, Kevin Durant. Then.
What about him?
No, because you go on JJ Redick's podcast, whether you like him or not, you're gonna walk away with feeling educated about the game. Same thing with Draymond. Same thing on certain occasions with Paul George's podcast. A lot of different guys. You will leave like, okay, I learned something and was thoroughly entertained. What I'm saying is when they are engaging, because that is how the conversation started. It started with Stephen A. Smith saying, instead of you, Kevin Durant, being so defensive anytime somebody is questioning you about your game, especially the fans, you should be taking that opportunity to help them learn the game. And that afforded a response of JJ Redick said, why is it his job now to teach them the game? That's how that happened. So
right, but
I don't want to confuse.
But hold on. But before we go, Bo, but you're answering my question, because if you want to do anything outside of that and be an entertainer, Shaq showed you that already. If I want to do something else, I'll give you a rap album. I'll do a movie. I'll do everything else but do a podcast where I'm engaging with people about long form speech, long form talk, where we talk about the game. You're not inviting podcasts. We had Brian Shaw on his podcast. That was crazy. Penny Hardaway played Kobe in high school.
Yeah,
that was for me to hear about that is amazing. I wouldn't have learned that if I didn't watch that. If it was podcast P, who I don't even care for, but I saw Brian Shaw, saw Penny Hardaway, saw Kobe Bryant in the headline. I'm pressing that. I wouldn't have got that if they weren't taking that approach that JJ Redick claims they're not responsible to do. But meanwhile, they're calling themselves a podcast. He's out of his mind on this one.
Nah, it's not their job, but that's a benefit.
But
lucky,
real quick,
you lucky fans, because these niggas don't have to.
But real quick, Flea,
they don't have to. This is just another bag.
Right, hold on. I'm sorry. But with the Kevin Durant thing, like, did you see how he explained why he should be named in the GOAT conversation?
Yeah.
Okay, now the way he said that was beautiful, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now my thing is this: if Kevin Durant is not explaining and teaching us, then you can't get offended when we say some of the things we say about you or your game.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm trying to say?
I like that. Yeah, I got you.
Kawhi Leonard, I told you, I backed off. That man has some real tragic things happen in his life. So I get why he is how he is. So certain players, they get that pass. Kevin Durant, you cannot get offended, but then at the same time tell us we can't talk basketball because we never played, but y'all listening to Stephen A. Smith and Mad Dog, who I know for a fact never put on a pair of basketball shorts for no type of school. Middle school, junior high school, JUCO, D3, 2-1, none of that. So that's the only thing I don't like about a lot of these superstars. They hedge their bets. They play sides. So, yeah, you don't have to educate, but you should want to educate.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my problem with the world today. A lot of us have the power to do things, and we don't do it for whatever reason. I'm saying, why not just do it?
Because the people that are in position that are thirsting for the knowledge are arrogant assholes too. So when they are approaching him, they're not asked that. They're not. I would love for somebody to do a scrub and scrub his Twitter page or scrub whatever and see the way he responds to people who are asking questions or the way he responds to people that are trying to be fly on the internet. That I hear what you're saying, OG. He should have a responsibility to do it, but we're not going to absolve bots and people. Like, at the end of the day, people are human beings too. Like, have some responsibility for how you approach. Because he's a star, you know what I'm saying? There's got to be balance. You approaching a human being at the end of the day. I don't care if you're a star. I'm not obligated to tell you shit. But now I'm obligated to get fly with you because you approach me being fly. That's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna just leave it on this note.
Mm-hmm.
God rest his soul. Y'all seen when Kobe played at the Drew League and he hit the game winner?
Mm-hmm. Niggas went crazy.
And security tried to escort him out, and he said, nah, I want the fullest love. I want the people to touch me. I was there when he was at Rucker. My point is, I'm not saying other players be like that, but these guys are too much on their high horse. We buy their sneakers, we support them, we argue, fight over these guys. And these are the same players that if you see them in the street and you just go, yo, what's up? You don't even want a picture, no autograph. They're not going to even acknowledge you. They got 30 security. Like, yo, man, my whole thing is you don't have to, but I don't see why you shouldn't. I just don't understand why not. Dom, your thoughts real quick, please.
Yeah. Nah, come
I
on.
got nothing. We're mentioning JJ Redick way too much for me. Like, I'm done with that dude.
He's on the thumbnail. On your channel.
We said, yo, I love Dom.
So I gotta fight back with that. There's no way. Maybe I sound like a broken record, bro. There's no way you're telling me that Kevin Durant has a burner account. He's sitting here trying to go and argue with people about basketball who participate in the game. We're the reason why the game is the game, whether it's gamblers, however we watch the game, we're viewers, consumers on every level, and we argue about it. Kevin Durant, if you didn't make it to the NBA, you'd be one of us. What are you talking about? JJ Redick, if you didn't make it over to, if something would have happened, a freak injury would have happened, you'd still be one of us. You wouldn't have made it to the highest level, and you would have been one of these guys that just like everybody else, that we want to hear from. Really, we don't care if we speak to Kevin Durant. We don't care we speak to JJ Redick. None of you guys. We actually want to speak to the underdogs because there's guys that you looked up to that never made it. For you to sound that arrogant, that are currently with us, and we talk about the game every single day, like we were sitting in a game. We were just talking about why does me and Dime sound like we care more about the Detroit Pistons than the Detroit Pistons? How is that possible? How is that possible? And then you got the nerve to say, is it a player's responsibility who's creating a podcast to talk about basketball, not a made-up story, not a cartoon, not some story, some movie that you made up. None of this. It's based on real life events that took place. You're not making anything up. So what is it? It's educational, bro. Ain't no way out. Ain't nothing outside of that. It is your responsibility to educate. If you sign up to educate, I do not get that. I don't see where JJ Redick just comes off that way. And for someone who's doing it, Draymond Green does it. JJ Redick, they do it. When you listen to them, they do break the game down. So I don't even understand why he would make a statement like that and then do it on. You talk about the worst platform to do that on. Like that is the biggest. He's just the biggest hypocrite for me for doing that. And he's still dope. Don't get me wrong, but he sounds crazy saying that in front of Stephen A. Smith and Mad Dog, the creators of the current era of basketball discourse, as you little kids like to say nowadays.
I enjoy reading comments, right? I enjoy reading. So I enjoy reading comments. I enjoy seeing how, people interact on these socials. Just, what I'm saying? Just in my spare. And, you will be surprised. And you wouldn't be surprised. Y'all know. Everybody thinks they know a ton. Everybody thinks they know a ton. Right, so come on. Like, let's give it a buck, right?
We all know. We know everything, for sure.
Come on now, like, everybody thinks they know a ton, and nobody in the comments is going to say it with any humility, right? It's going to come out real, thumping my chest, braggadocious, bravado. You know what I'm saying? It's never going to come off as, well, this is my view. However you word it, it's never going to come off like that. So, I'm in the middle with that. I'll be honest with y'all. Like, I'm a fan of the game, purist like the four of us, so we're invested. We love this. So, we're going to spend time and come on here and not, talk out the side of our mouth. But there are more of them than there are us. And who I mean them is the ones who, one, take themselves too serious, think they know everything about the game, and will speak like they know everything about the game, and will try to refute guys that played at the highest level. That's just really my point. I ain't really talking about us.
The guys at the highest level got duped by Stephen A. Smith.
They be calling that. They be calling him too.
All y'all geniuses, all y'all guys that, like I said, I'm going to the grave with that. Yo, don't ever tell me since I ain't played at that level I can't talk ball when y'all got duped.
That's hilarious. I gotta run. I will talk to y'all soon.
You already know. Be good. Good to see you
soon. All right.
Yes, sir. I know we about to get out of here anyway. You already know. I know Fabian got to get ready to go to work. Dom, you good up there?
Yeah, are you gonna get off, Fabian?
That JJ Redick.
No, I got a couple more minutes. I thought you had another topic on old boy.
That JJ Redick shit was killing Dom, bro. That he looked in.
Well, hold on.
Both like these are like my least favorite people.
We got about 5. I mean, we can spend about 5-6 minutes if y'all want. I would love to hear Dom's thoughts on this All-Star Weekend. Some of the players and what they were saying as far as like just competition. I know Dom is a purist, love the game. I don't know nobody that love the game as much as Dom, and going way back to, like you said, the Bill Russell days where, the hard working and things of that nature. How do you feel about what the All-Star game has become in these guys' mindset?
I mean, I thought the All-Star game sucked when I was a kid, and now I'd give anything to go back to that. I never really got to see a great era of All-Star games, but I will say that like when the fourth quarter came around, you would see guys try to, start getting some stops and try to make it a game. And the 2021 and this last one was none of that. They don't care about the fans anymore. the NBA just in general doesn't. And then the fans are soft. Like the fans, especially these young fans, this is all they know. And I'm starting to think like this is just it. Like I already speak about what I think about the modern NBA. I think the only great time is the playoffs, and I still watch it because I love my team, but I don't think it's a good product in the regular season. I think these guys are nowhere near as competitive as before because the era that they've grown up in, society's made us softer. The money is too large. They're too arrogant. They're too full of it. And I mean, it's just, they were just coming up and down the floor shooting 40-footers. And then if I say this, it's like I'm a hater. I'm an old man. I'm fucking 25. I look like I'm 20 right now because I shaved my beard. Like, it's just it makes me mad even talking about it. Like, I just got the best thing to do is just accept that it's not what it once was, and just accept it for what it is, and that's it. Just accept that I don't like it as much. I'm done watching the All-Star game. I'm not going to give it a chance next year. I wasted 2 hours of my time when I could have been doing something different. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. I'm not. And you know what? They say we don't want to play hard. We might get hurt. Then don't even play a game. Just get the honor, and that's it. We don't play the game. We just do Saturday events. We do the Rising Stars and the Celebrity Game. It's a damn shame. You guys are spoiled that you got to watch some of those All-Star games in the 90s and the early 2000s. Really spoiled.
Let me say this, Dom, real quick. I said this on our platform for a while now, and I'm gonna repeat it. I don't know if guys want to be great. I don't know if social media like literally ruined the world. I have a problem with players during the season doing their podcasts. Like if I was an owner, you cannot do that. You do that when the season is over. I need you fully focused on the season. Dom, you made a great point. No one cares. I'm not going to say the money is too much because the money is the money. And, you know, a game that we played for free, the money shouldn't change your passion. It shouldn't change your mindset. It shouldn't change you wanting to be great. These guys don't care about being named with the legends. They don't care about their name being in the history books. They really don't. It may be a handful, maybe. I don't want to name no names because it's going to seem like I'm a hater or I'm leaving somebody out. But I don't know what they're playing for today. I really don't. I like Jason Tatum was talking to Malika Andrews the other day, and she asked him who's the best player in the NBA, and he said me. And it's just like, I get that you always want to be the best, but it's like, yo, bro, what's the agenda? What kind of games you playing? You know you ain't the best player in the league.
What's wrong with that though? He might win a championship this year. If he does, and he wins it, why not?
All right, this year, before Embiid got hurt, is he better than Embiid?
And that's the regular season. But if I was Jason Tatum, I said I were Jason Tatum, though, I would say in the playoffs, I own Embiid. And he should say that.
But that's
not the point, Dom.
You guys take the regular season too seriously then.
No, Dom, he's not the best player in the league. It's not even close.
He's not
even close.
Jokic's, but I don't mind him saying
it. And we're talking about the regular season. We're not talking about the playoffs. We're saying right now who's the best player.
No, it's not. You guys don't understand that when someone asks somebody who's the best player in basketball, it's not about who's having the best regular season. It's about who they think. If you put everybody and say, try your hardest, who's the best player? Who's the most impactful player? That is Nikola Jokic right now.
Okay, no. That's your interpretation of it. Other people have different interpretations, and that's why we have this conversation.
Let's ask the comments then. When someone asks, do you think
Dom, SGA, Embiid, Giannis, Joker, Luka, he's not better than none of them right now. He's not.
You think SGA surpassed Tatum as a basketball player?
Right. We talk about right now. I'm not talking about last year.
I don't think just because SGA is having a better season doesn't mean he's better at basketball to me. I think this is a difference between. I think James Harden in 2018 had a better season than Kevin Durant. Was he better than him? Not in my opinion.
Right now, MVP, if they stopped it today, right now, who's your MVP right now?
It's a good question, actually. I would say it's either Jokic or SGA.
So how is SGA right now not better than Tatum?
Because the MVP is a regular season-based award. It's not about who's better at basketball. Jokic is the best player in the NBA.
Okay, so then Tatum is not. That answers the question.
I know Tatum is not, but I don't mind him saying it because he's like top 6 or 7. So why not? Like if Luka got asked the same, he should say him too.
Okay, but Joker wouldn't say that, and he's still the best. The point is that he's.
I know he's too humble,
but that's not the point.
So you guys are saying Tatum's arrogant?
No,
No, that's not what he
the
said.
point is these guys is doing. I'm gonna let Fabian go. The point is these guys is doing things for clicks and likes. They're caught up on social media. They don't care about winning. That's just a fact. They don't care about championships. They don't care about legacy. They don't care about none of that.
I
Everybody got
disagree
their
that Tatum doesn't care about legacy.
okay. All
He
right.
wants to win a championship for Boston.
Okay. Well, go out and win it. You done had ample opportunities. You got the right crew. There's no excuse. Go
Okay,
win
but
it.
all ball. Okay, but all ball. Let me ask you a question. With Tatum, do you think he's failed because of not trying, or do you think he's just, he's going through the growing pains of being a young superstar? He's not like he doesn't try.
Both.
Dom,
You think he doesn't try?
Dom, hold on. So, all right, so hold on. Let's stay here. Let's stay here. Tell me what player would not get no type of feedback or pushback. You've been to the finals twice, been to the Eastern Conference, had great teams.
He's been once.
Good coach. They've been in the finals once?
Once.
Okay, and right. And how many times they've been to the Eastern Conference Finals?
With Tatum?
3 or 4 times.
Right. They didn't have Kyrie Irving.
4
Now
times.
they got Drew Holiday. They got Porzingis. They get good coaches. They get everything they need. Who gets as much as Jason Tatum with the Boston Celtics every year and come up short?
Kevin Durant?
Okay, and what do we do? What do we say about Kevin Durant?
I agree. Just Tatum is 25 years old. He's, how many, I always say this, how many number ones at that age have won? Not many.
So you're saying that doesn't mean that he doesn't care about winning. He just hasn't won yet.
Yeah.
And these
I think
dudes don't care about winning.
I think he does. I mean, he's very available. His effort is pretty good almost every year. And I think that he wants to win for Boston. There's a lot of pressure when you're a star of the Celtics. You saw how touched he seemed to see Larry Bird. That was pretty cool. I didn't even never met him.
But that's the reason why, again, pressure is all we talk about when it comes to Tatum, and he always succumbs to it when it matters most. So
Last year,
I don't want
was
to
that
stress
bad
that.
to you?
In crunch time for me with Jason Tatum, and you
He
can see
didn't
in
get it done. He didn't get it
And-
done. It doesn't matter how
He did-
good or bad he was. Didn't get it done. And
I
these
agree he
teams
didn't
that
get it done.
yeah, and I'm sorry to keep cutting y'all off, but come on, look at these teams he's had. They've given him everything he's wanted and needed. There's no excuse. That's all I'm saying.
He only should have gone to the finals and fell short really 1 year, and that was last year. To me, the Warriors the Warriors are just more experienced than them. He didn't play well though.
That's
he
not
got
what
the
happened.
smoke for that though. He didn't play well.
That's not what happened. Jaylen Brown, I just told you that Jaylen Brown came out and said that Draymond Green punked them.
Okay, but
Straight up, he weren't ready. Jason Tatum was there. He succumbed to it, bro. Like it's again, you're talking about pressure. You're talking about the intangibles that we always speak to. It's not just about skill. It really isn't. Like there's no way Kobe should be better than Tatum. Right now, there's no way you take Tatum over Kobe. You just don't, because that's everything to do with intangibles. Kobe Bean Bryant, correct. Like Tatum to me is more talented, more skilled, but he's not going to use it when it matters.
He's taller. He's not more skilled. Are you insane?
However, even with Kevin Durant, I had to concede, he can't be in the same ballpark as Kobe, because Kobe's going to lead your team at a certain point. He's leading you. All these intangibles
But
are
Kobe
matter,
at this age wasn't.
At 25. Correct. So again, to your point, yes, we still have more to see, but if he continues on this path, we don't like what we see. That's my point. That's all Bull's point.
This is the first time, in my opinion, where last season I said the same thing. This is the only 2 seasons though, last season and this season, where I think that a Jason Tatum-led team should go all the way. In 2022, I told my friends in Boston in the middle of the season when I went and visited, I said, guys, you guys could go to the finals, but you're not going to win yet because you're a little too young. Tatum is not ready yet. And it was exactly my prediction came true. But last year, I thought they were going to go to the finals, and they fell short. And this year, they gotta win it, honestly.
So going back to the All-Star game, I think what you just said, all ball, pertains to the whole entire league. The Boston Celtics as an organization gave Tatum everything he had possible to win, and because of that, he kind of gets content when it comes down to it. For me personally, and these players are all content with the All-Star game. They're content with making $400 million. It's been like that for some time now. And yes, LeBron has something to do with it. Yes, I somehow fit him into the hour and a half, 2-hour special of 4 Sportsmen right now. Somehow I fit LeBron here. Yeah, because the best player in the game cannot act that way towards an All-Star game, and then the rest of the league not react the same way and fall in line. They did. because he's lazy about it. They became partially lazy about it. Also, I don't blame all the players for this. Like when Ant-Man said, "This is a break for me. This is a vacation time for me." I can't be mad if you're telling me the truth. We got to be mad at the fact that how come nobody's doing anything about this? Like he's not the issue. I think it's all the rest of us, and specifically the owners.
But Fabian, the player. But hold on. For one, what I've been telling y'all, Adam Silver, I do not like him. Never liked him.
Me too. I've always said
he's terrible at his job. He buys into all of this. He wants it entertaining. It's all about the money, right? But the players got to take it upon themselves, bro. When you get on that court, listen. Somebody just sent me a playback of an All-Star game where Kobe was guarding LeBron 94 feet.
Yeah, 2013. I remember that vividly.
You take it upon yourself. While y'all want to lollygag and play, I'm gonna give y'all 60. I'm gonna have 10 steals. I'm gonna get the MVP, and it's gonna show. Yo, so and so was bugging out there. Nah, I'm dead serious. It's up to the players. As much as I don't like Adam Silver, it's up to the players. Look, they don't care. They just don't, bro. You would never catch all of the players in the 90s, 2000s when they was doing legendary interviews. It was with legendary commentators, Stuart Scott and them guys. You think you would catch them on a podcast with a person joking and playing? Bro, we in the season. I'm trying to win a chip.
No, but again, the owners and the NBA are using the podcast. They don't even care about the ratings. The NBA Finals is the lowest ratings ever of all time, and they don't care. Why? Because they're on Twitter, they're on a podcast promoting all the merchandise possible for the NBA on every single platform possible. The owners know I don't need the All-Star game to sell my stuff. I don't need any of that. I need your little podcast to sell the jersey on, to sell your little headband merch. That's what they're doing this for, to put your face on the side of this building for the next 4 years. That's why load management is happening.
Fabian, they'll lose a game and go right on the podcast.
So, like, how if this was back in the day, it wouldn't be allowed. They would have banned them because they couldn't control the money for it. Now they get money for Draymond Green being on there. Yo, Draymond, throw my brand on that podcast real quick. It happens. So it's not just the players for me. And I think I have a solution for the All-Star game or the All-Star game or All-Star weekend. I think Trae Young was the first to say on the sideline, they need to have an announcer like they do at Rucker Park calling the game.
Apparently it was Donovan's suggestion. But I think she has a good suggestion. Somebody getting on their ass saying he dogging it on defense and letting everybody know, like, you know, some shit on the mic.
Right. With the nicknames and everything. And I want to triple down on that. Yo, it shouldn't be 3 days of BS. Like, it's too much. I barely watched anything of it. The 3-point shootout, I usually even watch that, but I couldn't even watch that. It's garbage. They try to bring the women in there to try to like mix it up on some glow wrestling thing. No disrespect, but
terrible.
That was the highlight of the weekend, though.
But what if you made everything into a tournament? Like, you could do the same thing when they pick East versus West, but it should be a 5-man versus 5-man, make it 21 and have a tournament all weekend long. And then the winning the cup, All-Star Cup, is on Sunday. But it doesn't have to be an hour-long game. It should be a game to 21 or whatever it is. Something different. So at least if you start on Friday, even the rookies could play like a tournament. The rookie game should be a tournament from Friday to Sunday. I watched that all weekend. But instead of this, I didn't watch 1 second of this nonsense.
Bro, scrap the whole thing, bro. Y'all say y'all want more rest. Y'all say y'all want load management. Scrap the whole thing, like you said, or just do one day, Saturday, one event, all Saturday. You do the rookie and the sophomore. You do scrap the dunking contest, or with the dunking contest, you bring in these YouTube dudes. Let them dunk for a check. Simple and plain. The dunks I be seeing, of course, we know they probably take 100 tries to do it, but if some of them can get that on the first dunk, you get 5 of the best YouTuber guys that I be watching, and you maybe of a $500,000 prize to the winner. You got to do stuff like that, man, because once again, they don't want to be a part of it. But you know what? You use they stardom, let them come, bring out the people. So instead of them participating, they'd be in the crowd amping things on. But cut the whole joint. No Friday, or the celebrity game Friday, Saturday, check it before we get out of here. Because we've been talking like this. I'm not giving Donovan Mitchell and them credit for that. We've been saying all this type of stuff. So I'm not giving nobody credit when full Sportsmen, Dom, Fade, Flea, Allborn, everybody else. We've been talking like this. Saturday, you have the rookie versus sophomore. You do a 1-versus-1, and you do the 3-point contest, and you do the slam dunk contest with the YouTube guys. Simple. It's nothing Sunday. Y'all get all the rest y'all want. Now it's no complaining about low management and rest of none of that. Come on, man. All scrap it. But Dom, I'm with you. I only watched it once Brunson scored. I cut the TV. I don't watch that shit.
I like my tournament idea. Best game of 21. Yeah, 4 sports, man. Anything else?
I mean, I'm gonna finish off on those teams because I made a promise to these guys.
Say no more.
I'm happy you mentioned LeBron. I'm happy you mentioned LeBron because people are too afraid to say it. But the NBA takes after the face of the league, in my opinion. The other stars. So many things about the NBA have become uncompetitive since he's become taken over since Kobe's the face of the league.
Dom,
sorry, not sorry. It's
and
the fact.
no.
I could go in more depth if you want.
No, let me ask y'all a question.
And hold on. I'm sorry, but that's proof that to me, Kobe was never the face of the league because they didn't follow him. Because they didn't follow that. They followed LeBron, and they really were doing lazy about it.
All-Star games. I mean, the thing is, right? Actually, you know, Kobe was the face, but here's the thing. I think it's less about Kobe and more about the culture that Kobe even saw. Because, like, I watched the 69 All-Star game. It's a Dime Machine first episode, right? And they're treating it like a normal game. I've watched one in the 80s. They treated it like a normal game. So in the early 2000s, it seems similar. And then late 2000s, it was starting to get a little foolish in the first half. Then they lock in second half. Some would just be blowouts, though. Sometimes the team would just, it's a basketball game. Someone's going to be blowout. But then to me, you know, I want to say after 2014 or 15, the first one I can remember, it really started getting bad after this was Kobe's last one in Toronto. It was really, really high scoring. And then after that, it was just basically done. 2020 was a great exception, though. I think 2018 and 2020, we had some close ones, but it's just been a joke ever since. I just think Kobe used to, I was to say this about Kobe. He used to make it so that you either had to take the game as seriously as him to compete, or you guys were going to just lose. Yep. Like the 3 years he won MVP, the game was a blowout. And I used to get annoyed by how hard he took it.
But look how LeBron responded to and you saw D Wade and come on. I was like, yo, what are you doing?
Remember, LeBron used to take it seriously back then too, because he had something to prove. 08 and 06 to win MVP.
Before I get out of here, let me just say this. Oh man, I wish we could talk about this on another time. Do you think? Because I told somebody the other day, the players found a glitch in the matrix. They found a glitch. And I don't knock nobody for that. But you're not telling me these guys that linked up and said, listen, bro, we get all the money we want. We ain't got to play hard. It ain't about the championships. Bop, 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 bop. Bro, they too friendly, Dom. Everybody's in cahoots. I'm sorry.
That's a part of the culture, but
you're not going to beat me by 40. And at the end of the game, I'm on the court laughing and chucking and switching jerseys and hugging. No, listen, they found a loophole, but they went overboard with it. Bro, when guys are showing up at the game with glasses of wine, bro, it's too much. It's too much.
But you had a question with that? You said you wish you could speak more on it, or
right. Because I don't want to pose a question because I gotta go. But I'm just saying, I think LeBron got together with all the best players, and they said we're gonna pimp the system.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
And it doesn't matter who wins rings, none of that matter. I'm sorry. I think that's what's happening, and this is why nobody cares. Because for Boston Celtics to give Jaylen Brown $300 million, that's the worst $300 million ever spent. I said it here first.
I think they took Mike the blueprint because I don't turn it. It is Mike versus LeBron all the time for me, but I don't overlook the fact that a lot of these tactics that LeBron uses, Jordan was doing it. They were promoting him as God, and he would have an embargo on Sports Illustrated and all these other companies. If you were a media company, you could not speak bad about Michael Jordan. So a lot of having the agent that Michael Jordan had, and he had a couple of other players that have the same agent. LeBron took that and put it on steroids. Do I think that he rigged it to the point where he's like, yo, I want to be known as the best player ever, and the way to do that is to be promoted that way? Yeah. And then you have Jaylen Brown taking $400 million because he's not going to play with
They
another
can do
player.
low. They can do
Against the
low
ball.
management and still get paid, bro. There's no penalties for nothing. They could not play defense and not get punished.
Yeah, but see, that's the same. I'm gonna make the same statement all the time. Steph Curry sitting there in the press conference saying, "Bro, I want to play." They're sitting me down. The medical staff, the owners, they sat me down. I want to play. So the owners, like I told you,
You heard what Kevin
they.
Garnett said though to that, right?
I don't care what Kevin Garnett said. Kevin Garnett didn't play
Why
in this
not?
era
What you
because he
talking
didn't
about?
play in this era. He's not playing in an era where the owner's saying, "Yo, we're gonna sit you down because if we don't, we're gonna lose you for the next 4 or 5 seasons." They're using Kawhi Leonard too, bro. We're signing you for 3 seasons, like Don was and Fleet was always saying. We can't go into this new stadium without these faces on the side of the stadium. And the only way to guarantee that is load management.
I respectfully disagree because Kevin Garnett, who played at the highest level, who played, said it himself. And I don't know if Kobe said it, but Kevin Garnett for sure said it. If I want to play, I'm playing. Ain't nobody stopping me from playing. These guys don't care about winning. They don't care about none of that. That's just a fact. And I don't want to say names because it's going to sound crazy, but put it like this. I'm saying 99.8 don't care. That's a fact.
That's a higher number than I was willing to go. I'm not gonna go that far.
I'm going that far. I'm sorry.
I'm not gonna push back. Fuck it.
Yeah. Listen, man. For Sportsmen.
Peace out, ball.
You have a good night.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
7 o'clock.
We're gonna talk.
Fellas.
All right, Fabian.
I might jump on if I'm in the car and he will.
I'm gonna take the rest.
On the 76ers. Boom.
All right, guys. We're talking Philadelphia 76ers now. So for the remainder, we're going to finish up talking about all the East teams. Remember, these are all going to be time-stamped, so you'll have all the info from me. Let's talk Philadelphia 76ers. So they've had a weird season. Obviously, they traded James Harden, and they got Nicholas Batum, Robert Covington, and Mook. So the thing about Mook is he's played in 37 games. He's averaging 7 points. His three-point percentage is up to 40 this year, but he's no good. He's old and whatever. They had Patrick Beverley, traded him to Milwaukee, got Buddy Hield now, who's averaging 22 points in 4 games as a Sixer to go along with 7.5 assists, which is insane. Obviously, I think those numbers are going to drop, but having Buddy Hield is definitely a solid pickup. Now, DeAnthony Melton's averaging double-figure points this year, 12 points, but he's only shooting 39%, so that's something to watch. Kelly Oubre got off to a great start to the season. He's also averaging double-figure points with 14 a game, but his three-point percentage at it's just 32. And then you have a guy like Rocco, who's only played 26 games this year. That's pretty tough. You know, Robert Covington is somebody who, you know, we were expecting as Clipper fans to contribute big time this season, hopefully, but he ended up getting traded for James Harden, and maybe, you know, we got away with a bullet there. We dodged a bullet because he hasn't been healthy again. And then you got Nico, who hasn't been healthy either. He's played 31 games out of a possible 54. He missed 23 games. That would have been very problematic. So as good as Nico has been, and he has been good when he's played, you know, averaging only 6 points, but he's shooting 53% from the field and 47 from 3. He started in 27 games. So he's worked his way into that starting lineup. He's been pretty good, but the injuries have been tough. And then the real topic of conversation is that Joel Embiid was just insane before he got hurt. Just completely insane, averaging 35 points a game. He had a 70-point game to go along with 11 rebounds and 6 assists on the season, shooting 53% and 37 from 3. The guy was playing at another insane level. And I was saying that you got Harden out of the mix. You got Glen Rivers out of the mix. You're letting Tyrese Maxey flourish, and now he's been an all-star for the first time. He's averaging 26, 4, and 6 on 45% from the field and 38 from 3. The guy is averaging 26 points at that size. You know, he's got an amazing first step, great 3-ball. Now he's improving in his passing. He's been amazing. The thing is, and they have a new coach in Nick Nurse, who's I think used Joel Embiid in similar ways to Jokic now in the high post with guys cutting off of him, which is great instead of just throwing it to Embiid and having a stagnant offense or just running high pick and roll with James Harden. But the Sixers, I was really saying that they're going to go to the conference finals if they can avoid Boston in that second round, but then the injury news to Embiid. It's just super unfortunate, and I think now they're going to be in real trouble. Tobias Harris is averaging his typical 18 points, 51% from the field, but they're just in a really tough spot now, and I don't know, man. I think he tore his meniscus, so he's probably going to be out for the season. I know there's still a chance he could come back, but they got Kyle Lowry now. We'll see how that works out. I was high on the Sixers. I had them finishing third, and they looked like they were going to finish third or maybe even second, but now we'll just see about that. Without Embiid, there's no chance really at all. But yeah, so sorry, Sixers fans. I think, even though the return for the Harden trade is looking like a loss right now, I think if those guys were fully healthy, mainly Robert Covington and Nicholas Batum, they'd really help the team complimentary wise. But yeah, I think that the Sixers, they're in a really tough spot now. Let's talk about the Atlanta Hawks, who sit in the 10th spot right now. And to be honest, I'm pretty disappointed in them. I had them finishing 7th before the season. And yeah, they've been really disappointing. And a big reason is they still really can't guard anybody. Their defense is atrocious. When you watch them play this year, they've had a ton of games that are just insanely high scoring. They were involved in that game with Indiana earlier this year. They allowed Luka Doncic to drop 73 points on them. They're really bad in terms of that end of the floor. But I will say having Jalen Johnson miss games really hurt them in the season. He missed 14 games, and they really struggled without him. They were hovering around these play-in spots, maybe even a little bit lower for the longest time. And then now they've broken back into that 10 spot. But I have to say, Trae Young, he's having a pretty underrated season. He was not even going to make the All-Star team, and then they used him as a replacement. But he's averaging 27 and 11 this season. 27 and 11. And he's only missed 5 games on the year. So Trae Young, he's playing really well. The thing is, 43% from the field is what he shoots. That's still pretty bad, especially for this era. He does shoot 37% from 3, though, but 9 of his 19 shot attempts are 3s per game. So he shoots a lot of 3s. He's not the most efficient player in the world, but his true shooting percentage is probably not bad because he shoots 86% from the line. I just think he shoots a lot of 3s. And in my opinion, a Trae Young-led team, they reached their ceiling to me in the conference finals in 2021. I think Trae Young slowly but surely is going to have to start having the mindset that I got to be a number 2 if I want to win a championship. I mean, they did put DeJounte Murray around him, and it hasn't necessarily been a great fit because he's not great off the ball. He needs the ball to be effective. And then the biggest thing is what I've heard this year is that defensively he's fallen off. He's not a bad defender, but he's not playing that good point of attack defense we saw last year in the playoffs. He's averaging 21 points a game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and a steal. So his numbers look exactly like kind of how they were last year. 46% from the field and 36 from 3. So not even that bad compared to last year. He shot 34% from 3. So technically he's higher in points per game. He's lower in assists per game and a tad lower in rebounds. Efficiency about the same. 0.1% difference in the field goal. But as I said, 3-point a little bit higher. But it seems like he's not played as good a defense. And then AJ Griffin. He's had a whole lot of issues behind the scenes this year. Only played in 18 games. I thought he'd be somebody that could give him some lift as a young player, and it hasn't really happened. And then DeAndre Hunter, he continues to struggle with injuries throughout his career, and this season has been no different. He's missed 24 games, DeAndre Hunter. He's averaging 15 points a game, and it feels like he's averaged around 15 points a game like his whole career damn near. It just doesn't feel like he's making any strides as a basketball player, as an NBA player. Last year he averaged 15.4 points, and this year he's averaging 14.9. Mind you, in 2021, he averaged 15, but he was really injured that year. So, his 3-point percentage, though, is a career high, 42%. The tough part is he's not on the floor enough. So that's really frustrating if you're a Hawks fan. They're only 3 games under 500 when he does play, 14 and 17. And there's 7 games under 500 for the season. I think something else that's really stuck out for me is that Clint Capella has totally fallen off a cliff. Like, he just doesn't finish around the basket very well, despite his high field goal percentage of 57.5% per game, a game. He does not elevate off the ground the same anymore. So, he is not a presence at the rim the way he once was. And I know that's contradicted by his 1.5 blocks a game. I mean, he used to be good enough for 2 blocks a game. He doesn't offer much resistance at the rim. And, from what I've seen this season, he just plays soft. Looks like he's avoiding contact. So Clint Capella, and he's been steadily declining each year. I think you started to see it in 2022 when he even admitted we don't get up for games like that anymore, the same way we did last year, now that we've tasted conference finals success. So I think these last 2 years, he's consistently dropped. And Onyeka Okongwu, he's still coming off the bench for him. And I think they've got to really go a different direction soon with Okongwu starting. He's averaging 10 and 7 this year compared to Capella's 11.5 and 10.6 rebounds. So not that much worse, but he's also only playing. They're basically playing the same amount of minutes. Okongwu is actually playing 0.1 more minutes. So Capella technically averages 1 more point and then 3 more rebounds in his minutes. So I don't know. If you're a Hawks fan, let me know what you think of the difference between Capella and Okongwu in their production this year. But I think Jalen Johnson's been a real bright spot. I think Bogdanovich should be one of the candidates for sixth man. Jalen Johnson is averaging 16 points a game, which is a 10-point increase from last year. 10 point. He's shooting 35% from 3. Last season, 29. So a 6% difference. So big up Jalen Johnson. He's really breaking out and being a really good player. He's super athletic. He's offered some good backside rim protection when I've watched him this year. He averages a steal and a block a game. So he's got activity defensively. And he's only 22 years old. So that's the bright spot for Atlanta. But defensive rating, they're the worst team in the league. They're 30 out of 30 in defensive rating, and it's very obvious. I think Trae Young is actually trying a little bit harder defensively when I've watched him, but it's still not significant. And DeJounte, no good. But anyway. And Capella, yeah, he's just non-existent really. Let's now talk about the number 6 seed, and that is the Indiana Pacers. Now, the Indiana Pacers, I had them as my 10th seed. But that being said, they did make a big trade, and that is for Spicy P, a player who I really like and I think is a great addition for this team, as I talked about when they got him as a second option. And he played some of his first couple of games without Tyrese Halliburton, but now he started to get situated with the team. And you see the Indiana Pacers are currently in the 6th spot with a 31-25 record, playing even better than I anticipated. And a large reason for that is the amazing season of Tyrese Halliburton, who last year had his breakout season, was an all-star for the first time. He has increased his PPG by 1. He has increased his assist per game by 1. And rebounds, he's increased by 0.2. He's shooting 49% from the field, just like he did last year, and he's shooting identical from 3, 40%. So he hasn't really improved that much, but I think it's just that he's gaining his experience in the league. Each year you become better, you become more comfortable, you become more confident in the fact that I'm one of the best players in this fucking league. There's not much people can do about it. And he's leading the league in assists right now. He's averaging 22 and 12, which is insane, on 49, 40, 85 splits. He's played in 43 games out of a possible 56. So he's missed 13 games. Let me see what their record is in games that he's played. Indiana in games with him are 24 and 19, so 5 games over 500. And then with Pascal Siakam in his 15 games as a Pacer, they are you can't get his individual Pacer record off the top of my head. So let's see. We got 0-2. No, he was 0-3 in his first 3 games. Then he went on a 3-game winning streak. So he was 3-3. Then another 3-game losing streak. Then another 2-game winning streak. So he's about 500 as a Pacer. But Siakam is playing well. He's averaging 21 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists on 57-41 shooting splits. His free throw is a little laggy, 62%. Got to get that up. But 57% from the field and 41% as a Pacer. Got to love that. And I like this move a lot. You got rid of Buddy Hield, which is tough. I mean, he's a great shooter, but it's going to allow Benedict Mathurin to shine a little bit more. He's averaging 14 points this year, and he's one of the better sophomores in the league. Then you have Andrew Nembhard, who's a solid player from Gonzaga, averaging 9 and 5 this year. And TJ McConnell, who can always come in and give you some solid production himself. So this Pacer team, they're an electric offense, absolutely electric offense. Benedict Mathurin, by the way, is averaging slightly less points this year. He's shooting 1 less shot per game than last year. But now with Buddy Hield off the roster, I think you're going to see that go up. I think somebody who's been consistent like he usually is, re-sign that contract, is Miles Turner. He's been a pretty consistent 18-8 guy for the last couple of years. This year he's averaging 17-7. His efficiency is pretty good, but he only shoots 34% from 3, which is 3% down from last year when he was 37%. But I'll say this about Indiana. They have the best offense, second best offensive rating in the NBA right now. So can somebody please look up who's first right now for me really quick? Because I'm very curious who the best offensive team in the league is. They were the number one offensive team for the longest time. Okay, it's the Boston Celtics. I got it. Boston Celtics, which makes sense. But the Indiana Pacers being second in offensive rating, that's the genius of Tyrese Halliburton. That's what it truly is. He's having a great season. And now I think with Siakam, they got a real chance of winning a round. I didn't think they had any chance of winning a first round series without another star. You know, you saw how they could get exposed against the Lakers in the in-season tournament championship when you just blitzed Halliburton and got the ball out of his hands. They just didn't have those great decision makers in the 4-on-3 situations, and they got the ball to open three-point shooters, but can't just rely on other guys and other role players. Somebody who I think has improved tremendously is Aaron Nesmith. He's averaging 13 points a game on 52, 45, 70 shooting split. So the free throw percentage isn't great, but 52% from the field and 45 from three. He's top 10 in the league in three-point percentage. I watched him in Massachusetts when I was at UMass. He was nowhere near looking like this. Aaron Nesmith has been a real part of this Pacers team, and I think he's been tenacious defensively. Even though this team doesn't play much defense, and that's what scares me about them in the playoffs. They're 25th in defensive rating. I think that they're exciting and they're trending in the right direction. So I was wrong about them. They're better than I thought, but I think the addition of Siakam definitely takes that to another level. So definitely have my eyes on them going forward. Now, let's talk about another team that's been insanely shocking to me, and that is the Chicago Bulls. Now, what's really interesting about the Chicago Bulls is that they were looking like kind of a disaster. Zach LaVine has been in trade talks all year. And then it's when Zach LaVine gets injured that they take off and show how good they can be. Zach LaVine has played in 25 games this year, and he's averaging 19 and a half points. He's not even averaging 20 points a game, people. He's shooting 45% from the field, 35 from three, which is very mediocre. And his record is 10-15 this season. Without Zach LaVine, the Chicago Bulls are 16-14 in the 30 games without him. So there you go with Zach. He's played 25 games. He's missed 30. They're over 500 without him, and they're under 500 with him. And DeMar DeRozan's having another very solid season. He leads their team in scoring with 23 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 dimes. But the real breakout season, the guy who I think should win most improved player this year, Kobe White. He has been an absolute revelation for this Bulls team. This is a guy whose career high was his sophomore year with 15 points a game on a shitty Bulls team. And now he's back in the starting lineup and he's averaging 20 points a game, which is a career high, 5 rebounds a game, which is also a career high, 5.3 assists per game, which is also a career high. And he's shooting a career high 46% from the field and 40% from three. Kobe White, take a bow, brother. He's played in all 55 games. He's been exceptional. I like the way he's getting to the basket. He's shooting the three ball. I've always seen some good stuff from him, but he's really started to put it together. This Chicago Bulls team is only 3 games below 500. They're doing better than the Hawks. I don't know if they'll finish better than the Hawks. I want the Hawks to finish higher just because I was right. But they've proven to be a pretty mediocre team in this league. And I thought they were going to be bad because they would trade DeRozan or they would trade LaVine. And because Zach got injured, now they can't trade him this season. Vucevic, his stats look good, 17.5 points and 11 rebounds. But I want to point out something about Vooch. He's shooting 27.5% from three this season, 54% from two. So maybe Vooch needs to lean into more post-up, taking advantage of mismatches, working inside the arc. I know he's a pick and pop big, but maybe he needs to start taking that 18-footer instead of that three because he's shooting 4 threes a game and he's shooting same amount percentage from than Westbrook, if not worse. So that's something to watch for Vooch. Now, Patrick Williams, he's another guy. I just don't know if I see much improvement from him year to year. He's averaging 10 points a game, which is exactly what he averaged last year. He's shooting even worse from the field. He's shooting 40% from three, so that's pretty good. But I just think he's very average. And for being what pick was he? 4th overall pick. I just think that he's a bust. Like, no offense. Alex Caruso's great. Ayo Dosunmu's averaging 10 points a game. Caruso's averaging 10 points a game. Andre Drummond is averaging 8 and 9 off the bench. So they've had some underrated performers. I got to give the Bulls credit. They've been very impressive. And DeRozan's had another very solid season as well. Now let's talk about the Miami Heat. We got 2 more teams left, ladies and gentlemen. Bear with me. The Miami Heat. Now, I had the Miami Heat finishing 6th. Flea had the Miami Heat finishing 10th. And I remember him being very low on them. All Ball had them 7th, so he's correct right now. And Fabian had them 7th, so he's correct right now. I had them 6th. The team that I didn't expect to be better than them was the Indiana Pacers, but I think the Heat could still finish higher than them and finish 6th, so I'm going to stay with that prediction. The Heat are the Heat. You know, one thing about them is, though, one of these years, and maybe it's this year, it's going to catch up to them the way they bullshit through the regular season. You know, I think Jaime Jaquez has been great. I think it's been awesome. You know, I love Jaime Jaquez. I think he's really shown everybody that doubted how good he could be in the NBA that he's fantastic. I mean, 13 points a game his rookie year, 4 rebounds. They just got Terry Rozier. They've struggled a bit with him because, you know, Tyler Hero, Terry Rozier, who goes to the bench? Can you put Tyler Hero on the bench? He won 6th man of the year, and then he got that fat contract last year. That's one thing. I think Bam Adebayo, he started out really well. He rightfully made the All-Star team. He's having the best season of his career, 20 points, 11 boards, 4 assists. He's one of the best centers in the league. We all know this, 51% from the field this year, one of the best defenders in basketball. But has he I mean, to me, last year, he took the next step in doing enough for a potential championship win. But Jimmy Butler, he didn't do well in the finals. You know, to me, he doesn't have enough of a bag to lead a team to a championship. And this is somebody who is saying, I had Jimmy ranked 5th in NBA players going into the season, you know, not counting Kawhi, who had struggled with injury. I had Jimmy Butler 5th. So you're talking because I love the way he plays in the playoffs, but he is a little limited. You know, he's very right-hand dominant. He likes to come to a full stop a lot of times with his pull-up, mainly going to his left. Everything is off 2 feet, which, you know, some people can predict. And when guys stop falling for his pump fake, he wasn't really getting great shots. And he doesn't have much wiggle to his game. I love Jimmy Butler. He's still so strategic about the way he scores, but the way he bullshits through the regular season, I mean, he's played 37 games out of 55. He's missed 18 games, so he's already not eligible for that any awards. Bam Adebayo was injured. He missed 10 games. Tyler Hero has missed 20 games. So they've had their fair share of injuries this season. They really lack size in the front court. I mean, Kevin Love is just another year older. He's 35 years old. He gets 18 minutes a night. They start Haywood Highsmith at the 4. He's getting 21 minutes a night. And the guy is what, 6'5", 6'7". So they have real problems in terms of size they didn't really address. We'll see how it goes in the playoffs for them. I think eventually things are going to come back to bite them. And I know they've been struggling at the point of attack defensively to a degree. Caleb Martin, I know, has been a slight disappointment this year. He's also dealt with injuries. He's missed 17 games. So, I mean, we'll see how the Heat do. The Heat are the Heat. I think this year it's going to really come back to bite them, not giving a fuck in the regular season. And I think it starts with Jimmy Butler. I think he gets away with it because of how well he plays in the playoffs. And that's why I give him the benefit of the doubt, because I'm all about the playoffs. Fuck that regular season stuff. But nah, it's going to have to come back to bite him eventually. And I think this might be the year, but we'll see. I just think Miami, we'll see how the addition of Terry Rozier helps. But Duncan Robinson, I want to give him a shout out. He's been awesome this year. But is Hero going to come off the bench? I don't think so. And now the last one, the Orlando Magic. So this is a team, I'm pretty sure I was right around correct on this. I had them 9th. They're in 8th. Flea had them 11th. They're in 8th. All Ball had them 11th as well, and Fabian had them 10th. So I was actually the closest. The Magic are in 8th. Paolo Banchero in his 2nd season became an all-star. And I got to say, I got to like what the Magic are doing. I don't think this is unpredictable. I think a stretch of the season that was very important for them was when they missed Wendell Carter. And in those, you know, he's missed 26 games this year. And in those games, Goga Bitadze stepped in. He started 31 games this year. And I thought he was pretty solid. Paolo Banchero is averaging 23, 7, and 5 at 7 rebounds, 5 assists. And he's played in every game this year, shooting 46% from the field. So he's gotten better in that regard in terms of efficiency. I think the Magic's size is very overwhelming. But I think one thing that stands out about them for me is that their offense isn't great. They don't have that much shooting. You know, Markelle Fultz is not a great shooter at all still. I'm happy for Markelle Fultz. He's gotten better. He's made a career out of himself after looking like, you know, he's going to be a major bust. But this season, he's dealt with his injuries as well. He's only played 21 games out of 55. So he's missed 34 games. As I said, Wendell Carter's missed games. Franz Wagner, luckily, he's only missed 8. Jalen Suggs, I got to talk about him in a second, but Franz Wagner, 21, 6-4. He's not that far off behind Paolo, but he's only a 32% three-point shooter. And then Paolo's not a great three-point shooter either, even though he's improved. The fact that their best three-point shooter is Wendell Carter in the starting lineup, their 5-man, is a little questionable. And then someone like Cole Anthony, who is a great shooter, is only shooting 33% from 3. So to me, they have some real issues in terms of points. They're 24th in the league in offensive rating, but 4th in defensive rating. And it's no surprise why. They got a lot of size. Jalen Suggs should absolutely be on a defensive team this year. He is a pit bull, and he's starting to show why he was picked so high at Gonzaga. Great on-ball defense, super physical, plays with a lot of passion. 12 points, definitely his breakout season. 12 points, 3 boards. He's shooting 44.5% from the field and 38% from 3. So this is a guy who you can say it's his breakout season, but in 2022, his PPG wasn't that much lower. His stats weren't much lower, but his efficiency was garbage compared to now, and he wasn't doing it on a good team. The 2022 Magic were a terrible team. They were 22-60. This is a starting role on a good team, so in my opinion, that's a breakout season. I think he's been exceptional. And then I mentioned Paolo and Franz. There's other guys to mention. Anthony Black has played 50 games. Goga, as I said. Mo Wagner, he's averaging 11 points a game. Wow, that's pretty impressive. Mo Wagner, they have 6 guys averaging double-figure points. And Cole Anthony's averaging 12 points. So really impressed with the Magic. I'm looking forward to seeing them play some playoff basketball or play-in basketball. We'll see if they make the playoffs. But I'm impressed with them, and they're doing about what I expected. So that's all for me in this one, guys.